It's another week. It always is another week eventually. Right, one sec. Alan Sharma, hello, how you doing? Toto Grola Charmo. How we doing, fellas? It is another week. And it is time for more stuff. Time to talk about more crazy situations. And probably play a bit of chess. And yeah. Let me put this in a Discord server quickly, and then we'll chill out. Alright, fellas. Belody 1590. No, why don't you relax, man? Who the hell are you? Why don't you relax? Why don't you relax? Why don't you calm down, man? You have this bug if I use your website that both the black and white pieces are all white. That's because you have a Chrome extension for dark mode. You need to turn that off. But fellas, how we doing? It is time for another stream. I've got another picture of ducks open, although I'll probably... we can play chess later. Play some viewers or something. That Vasper, how we doing? Football with Paul. I play pre-move and I lose like 1 second. I don't really care. That's your problem. How are you doing, fellas? It's another week. Many things have happened this week. Unfortunately, not so much with me. not so much with videos. I'm still writing the bloody script for this new rare anomalies video, which is it's been quite annoying to get it written up, but I'll try to do more of it today if I can. But I'm not sure how much time I'm gonna have today for that, which sucks. But you know, it is what it is. But other than that, quite a bit's happened this week. England's out of the World Cup. Crazy. Winter banned me from Winter Chess, you are so rude. Not true. Patently untrue. I can't ban anyone from the Winter Chess website. If I could do, then I would have your IP address. Which I don't. What did I walk into? Well, we just started, so that's why I got I got this picture of football ducks. I thought that would be slightly in theme with the World Cup being on this week, but I usually have a picture of ducks at the beginning for no particular reason, of course, but I've got the football ones. And I unfortunately, I could only find... I was trying to find an actual football duck. I could only find these random, like, wooden vintage antique ducks. Which, I suppose because England's been out this week from the World Cup, then it's sort of on brand with his England shirt. I'm not sure what they... But we'll be playing, you know, chess or something later on in the stream. And when did you get so British? Again, calm down. What do you mean, when did I get so British? As if being British exists on a spectrum. I am British. I'm like... it's so stupid. Your website is really helpful. Thanks, mate. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, man. I'm gonna quickly increment the thanks counter for that, as we've been doing so in all of the streams thus far. Yeah, so we're gonna play chess today. I was going to talk about the World Cup, although I mean it doesn't really matter that much, and well, most of you aren't even English, so it doesn't even matter. But yes, England are out of the World Cup. They're gone now, so it's going to be a Spain and Argentina final. I don't know how many of you actually care about football at all, anyway. But yeah, Spain and Argentina. I think. Obviously, Argentina will be cheered on by the Argentinian fans and literally no one else on earth, which is it's quite funny. I do hope Spain will win, but not necessarily out of any animosity that Argentina beat England, more because I find it slightly boring if a country wins it twice in a row. So, you know, it's still a third place match, yeah. Yeah, I want England to win the third place match, but I mean, you know, it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. I will say that if they do win the third place match, then at least England will get a third place, which is not something we've done. We've never gotten past fourth place. I mean, I think since you know, 1966, right? So. Something just flew past my head. What is the thanks counter? Well, oh, by the way, hi Kirby, welcome to the stream, man. How you doing? I hate Spain and Argentina. Yeah, fair enough. The thanks counter, we have a lot of people that come in from the website, you see, because you can come to the stream directly from the website, like the Winter Chess. So a lot of people just come in just to say thanks for the website, and that's kind of it. They just sort of leave after that. So we've created a thanks counter to increment every time someone says that. I support Spain because I support Barcelona and Argentina already won. Yeah, fair enough. I don't watch any of the clubs. I don't care about the clubs. I've only watched England and the international football, as I think a lot of people do that aren't necessarily into football as it is. Jude was insane this World Cup. He was. He was insane. And Kane was pretty good as well. But some people are saying that Kane was only good up until a certain point. And then sort of the later games, he wasn't as good. I don't know. I really think, like, I mean, I don't know. To be fair, I don't know anything about football tactics. I'm sure you guys are probably much more, you're much better at this than I am. Because I don't know anything about, you know, analysing football games or anything like that, right? But, like, I mean, I don't understand why you make a squad such that, you know, there's maybe 3 or 4 people that you just never put on the pitch. I never understood why you would do that. Because he had like Ollie Watkins, he had what was this? Kobe Mainu, something like that. What was the other guy? Like Ivan Toney. Like, okay, they gave him, you know, 5 minutes at the end of the Argentina game, right? But like, I don't understand why you make a squad just to not. I mean, maybe is there someone that, you know, in the chat that knows why that would be the case? Like, why would you even do that? I feel like it's a waste of selection. Kane didn't play as well in Norway versus England, but he was still good. Yeah, Kane was very good, but like, people saying he wasn't so good past a certain point. Like, I mean, like past the Mexico game, basically. Like in the Norway and the what's it? The Argentina game. Like they said, he wasn't as good, but I don't know. Probably football is porn. Yeah, they're good substitutes. Like they play when someone is injured in the starting 11. I mean, yeah, but like, I feel like the likelihood of that is, I mean, okay, it would make sense for like maybe 1 or 2 people, but you have to be quite unlucky, right, for you to need that, I guess, right? I don't know. I still feel like, you know, you can, even if you want to like consider them as substitutes for when someone gets injured, I think you should still try to pick people that you can somehow take advantage of tactically, right? Did you see Magnus? Yeah, I saw Magnus at the Norway game. That was very funny. They showed that on the television. That was very funny. I was slightly surprised actually to see Magnus there. But it's very funny. Right, fellas. Right, fellas, we're gonna play. We can play chess. I usually just play chess with the viewers, although I'm very rusty at chess because I don't usually play off the stream. I think. Well, actually, I say that. I think I played like 2 or 3 Lee chess games over the last week, but that was kind of it. I don't really play off the stream anymore. But we can do that because I know you guys like to do that. Like to play chess against the streamer. I know we always love to do that for whatever reason. So I'm going to bring up chess.com, and what I usually do is, because I don't really know how this works, here's the username. It's a winner cat SpongeBob, and you just have to send a challenge. I guess I'll see it, right? How to see. Yeah, so fellas, I mean, World Cup's been insane. I don't know, I'm sort of looking forward to the 3rd place playoff, although it's not, you know, it's not the most hype of matchups. You're good at coding, there's no need to play chess. Well, yeah, I mean, that's sort of true, but I don't know, I haven't had as much interest in playing competitive chess as I used to. So when I was like, basically between like 1200 and maybe 2000 Elo is when I was like, I was super into trying to get better. I used to play a lot every day, but no, I just haven't been bothered anymore. It's just not, I don't know, I have no interest in playing competitive chess. I have obviously a lot of interest in coding, but yeah, I don't know. I like coding chess things and you know, putting a twist on chess, or you know, doing the with chess and the analysis website and stuff, which is, you know, I have a lot of interest in doing that, but not just playing, not anymore. No, because I swear you weren't this British in the past. I don't know what you mean. I feel like you're just deliberately being negative. I don't know. Because there's not really an answer that I can give you. Like, I feel like you're the only one with this like internal confusion about it. Like, it's only your perception that is confused, like not anyone else, dude. Oh, challenger, I have dog PFP. Dog PFP, do you want blitz or wrap? I don't care, just choose. As long as it's not over 10 minutes, then we'll be alright. Because if it's longer than that, then it's not really fun. Or maybe just like 5 minutes. 5 or 10 minutes is fine. I wouldn't do 3 minutes because I can't, like, I need to also talk to the chat, right? So like I can't concentrate and also say something when there's only 3 minutes on the clock. It's not possible. But we can play. Fellas, also like another thing that we did in the last stream, we tried to code up football chess since the World Cup was on, and still is. We tried to do the football chess, so I can try to show you guys the football chess after this game, because I think it was pretty good. We did a pretty good job. And the way that the football chess works, it's literally like, you know, an 8x8 board, with the exception that oh, he takes for the knight, bloody hell. Wow, I didn't expect that. Okay, well, I suppose I'll just take it then. I don't care. Yeah, you just try to put a piece onto a certain square, which is like the goal. And so it's an 8x8 board, but there's 2 goal squares on like either side, and you try to put a piece in there, which I thought was really cool. I don't know now if I feel like that's going to be a problem. Well, not really a problem, but it's slightly annoying. Is it slightly annoying? Yeah, it probably is. I probably should have seen that. some extent, shouldn't I? I go here, and he goes there. Not really. Right. Oh, let's just go here. We're gonna have to do that, and I think that's like probably not the end of the world, but was the neck texture okay? I never used it. Well, I will use it, but oh. Okay, yeah, that shows that I can't really concentrate. Yeah, well, that's resignable. Good game. I never said British was bad. I'm just trying to get to the bottom of this. Well, that's also why I said that it's only your problem. I was thinking about a version of chess that would be flipped, meaning the king starts on e4, or e4, d5, depending on the colour, and pawns are on the 3rd and 6th rank. Wait, what do you mean? Wait, I'm trying to think about that. What do you mean the pawns are... So the pawns are like this. And then the king starts on e4 and d5. e4 and d5. Yeah, but that aren't they... How, I don't get it. How do you play that though? Because aren't they already in check at the beginning? How do you play that? Isn't that like too easy? Or I don't know. Right, well. Anyway, welcome to stream, CMY. It's good to see you. How you doing? Can I send you a screenshot? You can send me a screenshot if you want. Fellas, we are playing chess. If anyone wants a challenge, then you can send it to Wintercat SpongeBob, which is written down here. Wintercat_SpongeBob. Pundit78, how are we doing? Hello, hello, my favourite streamer online. Thank you. I appreciate it. How you doing? Welcome. Yeah, that'll be one thing to figure out. Yeah, I mean, it's a man, I don't know. Thank you for creating the website. You're welcome, man. You're welcome, man. I'm glad that you find it useful. I've been trying to find some time to work on it, but I haven't been able to yet, which is really, really annoying, actually. Really, really annoying. But it's okay, because I need to write the script for this next video, and then I'm gonna excuse me, I'm gonna hand most of that to an editor to do the rest, and then hopefully while they do that will be like, you know, the time for me to do the website, because that will be big. I need to add a monthly subscription to Winner Chess. I have to do it. I've been meaning to do it for so long. I feel like that's a move, by the way. He does get that. He does. Okay, I'm gonna go here. I don't want to go here because it kind of invites bishop g4. Now he's done that, right? Which is fine. Now, is this bishop actually any good? Because I can go here and get rid of that. Now, is that optimal? Because this bishop's obviously, the dark square bishop is obviously better, right? It must be better. Look at all these squares. I mean, it's doing that. I can just take like this, right? I feel like I should, although I could just go here, but then there's this, and then bishop g4. So I'm gonna try. I'm gonna get rid of the light square bishops. I think that's 3 for the counter now, so 32 total. Wait, what do you mean? Wait, what? It's 30. Wait, why would it be 32? And how much do you plan the subscription to be? Well, obviously, I mean, it depends on what's in the subscription, right? But I mean, I'll have a look at it, you know, when I implement it, because the things that I want in the subscription, because, you know, first and foremost, it's the website's not just going to be analysis, or at least at some point, like that's kind of my vision for it. I do want other training things in it so that I can give people, well, just more tools, right, for a free or a reasonable price, right? So yeah, so one of the things will obviously be in terms of the analysis, one of the things will be probably like cloud analysis or something, because that's a very easy thing to put behind a subscription, right? So cloud analysis, because there's a lot of people that are like, oh, I don't, it's too slow or something, right? So I can put cloud analysis as one of those things, such that you get game reviews, you know, more or less the same time as you would doing it on chess.com. What was the other thing? I don't know, just stuff like that. Basically, things that I would have to pay for. Like, you know, I have to pass that cost onto the consumer in some way, as sort of unfortunate as that is. Is this still okay? That's probably fine. So for example, like there's also the coach, right, which explains your moves. Now I built that I built that about 3 months ago, but at the moment it's not very good because, well, it's quite good at explaining the opening. It's not very good at explaining anything else past the opening because I didn't code enough content into the coach. So, but the coach uses an LLM, so like a a chatbot like ChatGPT or what have you. And so, and that's just for the personality, by the way. The actual chess information can be generated for free, so that's great. But obviously people want some version of a personality in their coach, and so you can add that with ChatGPT or an LLM, but that also costs money, so that would be behind the paywall as well. And also, I suppose, just the ability to support Wind Chess and the vision, I guess. I sent another stupid chess anomaly on Discord. Nice. I'll have a look at that. Or maybe I can look at it now, actually, if you send it here. Fairy chess all that rose from a badly worded FIDE law. I feel like a lot of these are badly worded FIDE laws, though. I don't know. Do you find that to be unique enough for like to be put in the video? Because obviously each anomaly I would want to talk about it for maybe 2 minutes or something, right? Which I don't know. Like I don't know. What do you think? Because like I think a lot of people would say that maybe the badly worded FIDE stuff sort of ran its course in the first video. So the coach after the game will be allowed to give you a really good recipe for a lava cake. No, because the prompt would be generated by Wind Chess and passed to the LLM on the server. So you don't get to choose the prompt. I feel like that's probably the best move, but it doesn't matter. I do like lava cake. True. The sequel to the anomaly video is 6 times the FIDE screwed up the wording. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot, because obviously, like, actually I don't know. Was the second anomaly from the video, was that a FIDE wording issue, or was that just because I thought that was just like just do this? I feel like I can. But then again, this bishop's doing nothing. But then he's still going to be doing nothing. Even if I do that. Alright, well, let's do it anyway, I don't care. The background music is so relaxing. Yeah, I always put the one of those like 24/7 lo-fi girl, what's it, lo-fi hip-hop beats to chill / something too. I always do that. What's FIDE? FIDE is like the chess government. Okay, now I feel like I can do that, but well, actually, should I do that? Because then you can open up this. Is that too annoying? I don't know. Alright, well, I see no issue in this. Probably here, though, right? Hmm. That is slightly annoying, actually. Ah, maybe I should have just gone here, right? I don't know. Here. 94, does that work? I haven't even gotten to the screw-ups in the current FIDE laws, really. Did you know that every game of chess by the FIDE laws today should immediately end in a draw in the starting position? Okay. So does that happen in practice? I guess not, right? Or it could be general about every bad FIDE decision. It could. I don't know. Like, I mean, that's fine, right? But, like, I don't know how much I would be interested in figuring all of that out. Can I not? I mean, this is... That seems so annoying, right? I can't do that because you just do that. Here, here, here. I mean, you can't really get the bishop out though, right? You'd have to go like that, which is super annoying, right? And then I suppose I have that. It's just... But what kind of move is that, bruh? Like, what am I meant to do there? Here. Now, okay, let's do it. Maybe you should make a FIDE laws video. Yeah, I mean, you seem to know a lot about like the laws of the FIDE, also like the I take it you're very into puzzle composition, right? I'm sure because there's plenty of interesting things in puzzle composition, right? Like I think the Babson task, I mean, again, I'm speaking as a very, amateur in puzzle composition, but I think the what's it called? The Babson task was a very like tip of the iceberg thing because you can choose literally anything you want as your criteria for your puzzle. So it could be like, oh, you've got to have en passant be the first move and then castling be the next move of the puzzle solution. So you can create sort of any combination of, I mean, what would you call it? Any combination of conditions for your puzzle. So I think it was the Babson task was a very tip of the iceberg thing. I'm sure there's lots more to do, and I'm sure that that you, Ed, would be a very good person to do that because you know a lot more about it than I do. Because a lot of it for this second video, two of the because one of them is obviously the Babson task, but the two others are historical events. So it's more just me talking about like chess stories, right? Rather than sort of anomalies that exist within the rules of the game itself. I can't go here anymore because of that, which is really annoying actually. Dude, what do I even do here though? I don't even know. What can I possibly do? I suppose I can go rook here. If I go rook here. Yeah, but rook here I have this. It just does nothing, right? It just achieves nothing. If I do this, again there's that. I mean, is it even like... Is it even worth, like... Okay, well, let's do that. I don't know. It doesn't happen in practice, so I promise I'm going to read the chat now. It doesn't happen in practice. It's just a matter of the FIDE laws badly worded. Well, I mean, if you think it's a very, interesting thing, then you can surely talk about it, right? I don't have the soothing voice that Wintercat does. I don't understand why people think that I have a soothing voice. I never really thought about that, but people seem to think that I do. But I guess, hey, listen, if it gets me more views, then it's good for business. And in that case, then I will certainly take the compliment. Do enough money, Wintercat would dub for you. Maybe I should. Maybe I should lean into the soothing voice thing, and then I should start making money off it. Dude, okay, I'm still reading the chat here, so I've just seen this with the Kirby Coda. So I just seen Kirby's just said, I don't think anyone has a voice as smooth as Winter. What are we going on? What's going on here, fellas? Goodness me. Steal his voice using AI. Yeah. I suspect if I start up a channel about chess compositions, it wouldn't do well. I've seen other chess composition channels languish. Well, I mean, like, all success in a YouTube video is on the basis of how interesting you can make it. It's extremely easy to like just bullshit an interest in a video, and that's part of actually if you know, trying to get more views, and that's part of getting good. I don't know how to put it, like getting good with the algorithm, if you want to put it that way. One part of it is being able to like become very good at bullshitting an issue. Because the minute that you bullshit an issue, then the viewer thinks that there is an issue that can only be solved by watching the video. So it's all about framing. Even if you think the topic is really boring, then you can just like you can just frame it in a way that it sounds interesting. I promise. It doesn't matter. You can do that with almost any topic. If you try, you might win, you might lose. If you don't try, you lose 100% of the time. True. True, Snake. Do you remember it? I don't remember you, but welcome to the stream, Sayash. How you doing? Saeed, how you doing? It's your accent. I think it's very nice. Well, thank you. I honestly thought that the British accent was like quite despised. Being completely honest, but I don't know. Maybe that's just stereotype. So I really don't know what to do here. I almost feel like I always want to try that, but it doesn't work. Now there is this, which could be followed by that, but then this, and then that. Just doesn't work, does it? No, but I'm going to do it anyway because it gives me a small amount of activity. Two separate people made videos about applying OSHA regulations to video games. I don't know what that means, but but I'm sure there's a way to frame it in a way that I'd want to find out. That's what I'm trying to say, fellas. Like, I don't know if this video already exists. Right? Even if you take something that is conventionally, and by the way, this is also another technique, just for me to lecture you guys about this. This is also another technique. I'd actually be very surprised if someone hasn't blown up doing this yet. Take the most conventionally boring thing possible. Now, you would say that it's like, okay, it's like paint drying. Like, is the most boring thing that you can stereotypically, like, it's the most stereotypically boring thing, right, to watch paint dry. Now, I say stereotypically, it is boring to watch, right? But then, I promise you that there is a way to make watching paint dry interesting. I promise you there's a framing that you can use, or there's a way that you can come up with a problem to like just blatantly lie about being a problem, so that somehow people are then interested in having that problem solved. You can do it. I promise you, even with paint drying, you can do it. There'll be some way to make it interesting. I'd be very and the reason I say this is a separate technique in itself. Okay, now I feel like I had this. I would be very surprised if I didn't have that, which is why I'm gonna do it, even though it's probably not good. RT game already did that. Really? Did it do well? Because you know, it's you can spin anything into an interesting video. You just have to be good at the game. Oh, even if I do this, yes, this. What am I doing? Wow. Well, I tell you what. Here. I mean, is there a universe where I can just do that? No, because there's that. Ah, goodness. Oh, I can go here. What am I doing? What am I thinking, bro? I can literally go there. The video nearly has 2 million views. Yeah, oh, I didn't even see that. What am I doing, bro? Okay, doesn't matter. It's literally chill, fellas. Alright, let's go here. I just have to think about it and learn video editing. Yeah, fair. I'm sure it could be interesting though, because again, you're someone who has what is essentially like esoteric knowledge, because there's not anyone else, right, that knows about this. Well, there's not anyone else who knows the same amount about this as you do, right? And so it's inherently interesting in that sense, because it's a novel thing, right, that the majority of people aren't familiar with. So I think that could be very interesting. I messed up this game real bad though, like goddamn. Dude, what do I even do in that situation? Like, here, I guess. Oh no, my e6 pawn. Man, what can I do? Oh, hello, Pablo. How you doing, man? Oh, God. What can I do there, fellas? I mean, can I even save that? Oh, I can't even save that, right? Oh my goodness. Wow, I have to do that. I probably could have. Maybe there was a way to save that. Nah. Crazy. Good game. The thing is, you view me as someone who knows a lot of esoteric knowledge about chess competition. You do. But since I'm in a chess composition community, I actually know relatively little about them. What I'm saying is that the entire chess composition community is esoteric knowledge. Yeah, it is. Because, like, I mean, look, we'll do this. We'll put this to a vote. Like, who in this chat actually like knew about anything that Ed was saying until they said it? Like, put this in the chat, fellas. Who actually knew anything about what they were saying until they said it? The entire community is esoteric. That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like you can feel that it's not esoteric because you're already in the framing of someone who's in that community. It feels that way for you. It doesn't feel that way for the rest of everyone else. We can put it to vote. Video editing that, I know, you know. So I haven't got a single win today. What am I doing, bro? I'm literally like, now I haven't been locked in. I gotta lock in, bro. Gloomy summer days in Spain, dude. I mean, you're pretty lucky if it's gloomy. Honestly, bloody hell, the heat wave here kills everyone, I tell you. Who even is this, by the way? Who is Gambit Noob Master 69? What have you been doing, bro? Oh, what is the move? What is the move? It's probably this, but I mean, I don't know the theory. I don't know any theory. I don't know why I'm saying that. It's more of an esoteric explanation. Yeah, I mean, the whole thing's esoteric, dude. Okay, I go here now. Then I have to move the bishop twice, and then I get bishop b7, and now there's no e4. Now, I think that's... I may have vaguely seen that theory, but I don't think so. Tiberius Claudius, hello, how you doing, man? Football with Paul, please can you not just ask people to play chess with you in the chat? Because it removes people deliberately from the stream. It's not a very respectful thing to do. Alright, fellas. Well, I think this is how you play it, but I don't know. You go there and then something happens. Should have seen that. I don't even know, like, is that a move? Here, 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 here. And then boom. I feel like that isn't the move. Dude, what do you even do here? Like, you have to take, right? There's literally no other move. Alright. Well, we're gonna have to take everything off and then go here. And then my only sort of consolation from that is the fact that I have a rook on an open file. But I don't think that even helps that much. Time sorry, I didn't even think of that. It's fine, just don't do it. Okay. To be honest, kind of neglecting my days. The summer heat of Spain is very stressful to me. Well, it's like it's difficult because during the heat, right? Like obviously in the UK we also have like a big heat wave every summer, which is like really annoying because we don't really have the AC in the same sense that other countries do. So it's I think it becomes stress. Well, I mean, obviously it can be different for other people, right? But I think it becomes stressful for me because you can't get any work done. You can't get literally anything done when it's so hot because it's just too uncomfortable to literally do anything. I could go here, but I mean, I feel like this doesn't do anything, does it? I mean, here. Yeah, there's literally nothing. That's a very good move. I don't know what to do now. I can go here, but it doesn't achieve anything. I'd rather have eternal winter weather. Yeah, I would as well. Hello, Tony, by the way. You cannot sack the queen if you trade it off. I have no idea what you're talking about. Yeah, I like the winter much more. I very greatly prefer the winter. I mean, I feel like I'd rather be very cold than very hot, though. Because when you're very hot, it's much more difficult to work than if you're very cold. But, well, I also like the snow. The snow is very nice. I think literally my only move is this. I literally can't do any. I can't really work. I can maybe move this rook, but like, I mean, bloody hell, it just doesn't really help the case, does it? I mean, I can't. Even if I do that, though, there's nothing. I'm gonna have to. I mean, what can I do here? That seems stupid as well, though. I can go here. That doesn't do anything either. Bloody hell. What if I just do that? No, I only lose the bishop. Well, then I have to go with E8, right? Because then I can at least protect that. I don't know. Is the Britain government putting restrictions on YouTube? Yeah, well, yes. It is putting restrictions on social media as a general thing, and it is ridiculous. I have done a video on my second channel, which is named Summer Dog, very creatively, about that situation in Britain. It is ridiculous, absolutely stupid. I think the government are bloody evil. They are. I mean, they're obviously not doing it to protect children, by the way. It's never been about, you know, protecting children or any of this bull crap. The only reason that they do this against specifically children is because then it creates a justification for a way, for mandating a way or a process in which people need to prove that they aren't children. And the reason you do that is because you get people's IDs. It's as simple as that. And as soon as you have IDs from, well, you know, everyone, then you instantly delete what's it called, anonymity from the internet. Instantly delete it. And that's what the government want, because they want to track everyone. It's very, very simple. That's why they're doing it. But yeah, they're putting restrictions. So there's going to be a curfew. As ridiculous as that sounds, there's a curfew for, like, I think it's under 16s and 17s or something like that, or maybe just is 16s and 17s. And it's going to be a curfew, so you can't now use social media between the hours of midnight and 6 a.m. There's something to stop scrolling or something like that. And of course, this goes in, hand in hand with the overall age verification thing, where, you need to give your ID to literally every website that you use ever. So obvious Wintercat joke, yeah. Whether you use Leela Chess to analyze positions for piece activity, control, risk, and then give this info to the LLM and create a plan for the game. Come on. Well, listen, man. Why don't you code that? That would be very good. Now I can go there, but again, there's nothing. There's actually nothing in what I'm doing. Like, I'll go here, but just because it's mildly more active. I still haven't watched any of the Summer Dog videos. I should get around to that one of these days. Yeah, I mean, it's it depends what you enjoy watching, because I've made 2 videos on the Summer Dog thus far. One of them is obviously about the UK social media ban. Again, absolutely ridiculous. The UK government is a joke, complete joke. I mean, it's almost, we might as well not have one, to be completely honest with you. And the other one is about my opinion on AI, because we've talked about AI quite a few times on the streams. I don't know what to do. There's literally nothing that I can do that would be, like, at all productive here. Like, there's this maybe. But how is that productive, you see? Like, I don't know. Vote count bin face? Nah, I would. Should I just go here just because it's mildly amusing? Yeah. Opinions on EU chat control? I don't even know what that is. Please fill me in on that, though, because that sounds absolutely garbage. Just instantly. Any government putting the word control in any product they release to a mass of people is probably bad. Like, let's be real. What is the situation with chess? The situation with chess is that we're playing games of chess, which is a very scintillating situation. Oh, welcome, by the way, William Duck. How you doing? I'm just waiting for an ID check skipper to come out. If things really do get really bad, someone's going to make it. Yeah. Well, actually, I don't know. How technically feasible would that even be to make an ID check skipper? Because it will be sort of the same as, like, how to make a login screen skipper. Now, that obviously doesn't exist because you can't log into other people's accounts at your own will. I feel like that would be similar to the ID thing. I don't think you'll be able to skip it. But what people will 100,000,000% do is find a way to, not have to use your ID by simply using a different website, or by creating websites that simply exist to be redistributors of mainstream sites. So, for example, a website that uses, the Instagram API to, literally give you an alternative Instagram interface, right? In the same way that we have. Actually, I'm gonna have to look at this on the bloody. Hold on. I'll look at it after the game. There's, like, you can have alternative user interfaces for certain websites. So, for example, YouTube has. Is that allowed? That is allowed. YouTube has there's a website called, I think it's like Hyped or something like that, where it is literally YouTube. You can use YouTube and watch videos on it, have a homepage and such, but it isn't YouTube, right? but I think it just uses the API to literally give you another YouTube, right? And then it just builds a UI on the API. And so you can do that, right? And so other websites will then spring up, probably, primarily open source websites that will exist simply to do that. And that will be the only, function of it. And the minute that you have that, it's over. Because the government will never be able to find all of them. It's as simple as that. They'll never find all of them. And that will be it. Because there will always be a new website on a new domain that the government doesn't yet know about. There will always be one. So you can't do anything. It's over. I mean, I don't know how else to put that. There will always be another one, and it never works. Like, okay, let's say Instagram stops working for the kid. The kid then goes to one of these alternative websites on like some random domain and then reuses in Instagram because that site redistributes content from Instagram. Well, what are you going to do now? Like nothing, right? And then it's like, okay, eventually that one becomes popular enough that the government decide to get rid of it, right? Because they find out. And then some other guy just redeploys the open source code to another page. I mean, literally nothing happens. Check every single one of your messages except for Prime Ministers or EU Parliament. Of course, except for EU Parliament. is to protect kids from predators. They always use this. What idiots. What a load of barnacles. Protecting children. They always say that the reason they do that is because it's a moral shield. I said this before, it's literally a modern daily fallacy. The extremely easily defensible position of we want to protect children is always put forth at the front, so that if you criticize the sort of inner actual opinion of the parliament, which is we want to control people, if you criticize that, they will always equate that criticism with a criticism of the protecting children. And so they'll call you a paedophile or something, right? Which is absolutely ridiculous. Like, it's obviously stupid, but that's what they do. Now, I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to take, and then I'll just go here. And then that looks pretty good to me. Like, I don't know. Did you play Factorio? No, I've never played that. I don't even know what that's about, to be honest. Okay, let's go here. It's like it's very difficult to get back into this with the other work. I mean, you might have to go here, but then there's a check. And time's running a bit thin to save this. Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. CMY. They simply... Okay, I can definitely do this now. But then... no, it doesn't matter because they have this check, right? So here... Alright, let's do that. Here doesn't matter if you go here, but they have check. It just wins, I think. I don't know anything about Factorio. Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. So they always use it as a moral shield. So as I was saying, it's always a moral shield, but they don't care about the children. No, they don't. Of course they don't. It's all about removing anonymity from the internet. And by the way, whether or not we want this to happen, because I obviously don't, right? But it will inevitably happen. More countries will take the UK and Australia doing this as a permission to do it themselves. And so this is what happens to the internet. And to be fair, it was almost a given, because the minute that something becomes so entangled with our daily lives, the government need control. Well, they want control over it. Simply because it is so involved in everything that people do, right? And so it becomes a part of life. Right, and so when the internet is a part of life, right, and consider, like, banking is a part of the internet. You can bank on your phone over the internet, and you can watch particular content, and you can talk to other people. The minute that they think that online lives are as important as real lives, then they want control over it. And that's it's literally as simple as that. I mean, that's the only reason they want the social media ban. And actually, I mean, there's obviously a lot of things that they're doing, right? So there's the social media ban, there's the push for age verification on literally everything. There's the curfew and whatever the EU Parliament thing that he was just talking about. All of it it's the same dragon. It's the same monster. Like, you hear a lot of different things, but there really isn't that much to talk about in terms of those things individually. It's all the same. It's the same goal of controlling everyone. And they will always use the same justification of it, protecting the children. Doesn't do that, by the way. I mean, even if, like, it doesn't even protect the children. Like, it doesn't even work. Like, outside of it being obviously a disguised, crypto message for we want to control everyone, even if you take that out of the equation and analyze it objectively as something that could or could not protect the children, it doesn't protect the children. It doesn't even do that. It's not even good at doing that. And what I just explained earlier is one of the reasons why, because you can infinitely create open source websites to redistribute content from Instagram or from YouTube, and that already exists. Well, at least with YouTube, you can literally never do it. You can never do it. And they're like, okay, well, the next problem is VPNs, right? You can always use a VPN, and so that's why the government don't like VPNs, and they're trying to get rid of it. Right? The UK government want to restrict VPNs. They'll never do it. They'll never do it. It's literally impossible. And I know that. The reason I know that it's literally impossible is because the worst version of what they want to do is China, right? And in China, right, basically all VPNs are somehow blocked by it because they have a great firewall, right? So you can't access anything outside of the country of China, outside the mainland, right? And it still doesn't work. You can still find some random VPN that lets you use the Western internet in China. In fact, if that wasn't the case, then why is it that most young people in China know what YouTube is? You would think it's weird that they know what YouTube is, right? Unless the Great Firewall was actually effective. It isn't. I've been to China probably 6 times. I promise you, it's so easy. It's not even difficult to get your hands on a VPN or to get your hands back on Western media when you go to China. And China is literally the worst version of this. So that means that even if the UK went full China mode with their internet, it wouldn't work. It's absolutely stupid. And by the way, I have no doubt that the UK government would have absolutely zero problem with enacting a China internet if they could convince the public that it was to do with protecting children. Absolutely zero doubt. But, that's just the nature of the world, right? I continue the website where you can search what country and what minister of EU Parliament of each country is voted for and against, if there's something you would be interested in. No, it's alright, don't worry. You can DM it to me, CMY, but I mean, it's not top of my priorities. It's fine. So the Russian ban of media and VPN situation is crazy. A lot of countries are going in this direction now. Because countries like the UK and Australia have proven that most normal people who aren't tech savvy at all find this at a surface level not to be a bad thing. Because, and this is the thing, right? Like, if you get that to check. If you ask some, random individual, like, what they think about this, a lot of them will say, oh, it's fine. Like, I like that it protects children and it stops children from scrolling. Because, again, it's very easily, it sounds easy to defend. That's what I'm saying. Now, do I have that, or is there a weird... thing? I don't think there's a weird thing. I could also take this, but is that really Is that really any better? I almost want to do that. No, I think I'll do this because it blocks off the d2 square. So the queen takes e3, just win. If he doesn't stop it, well, he can stop it, right? Like, there is obviously a way. Because this isn't checkmate. The king escapes. I suppose I could go knight e4 though. Knight e4 is very difficult. There's no bishop d2. That's why I play queen takes 3. Bishop d2, I have this. And I just win the game. Yeah, it's crazy. But the sort of normal individual that doesn't know anything about tech, right, will obviously just say, oh, protect the children, and so right. Because it requires a certain level of thinking to understand that it's not a good idea. So that's why, you know, inevitably this will be implemented. Unless we get a reasonable government in the UK, which doesn't look like it's going to happen, at least, you know, anytime soon. We'll see what happens at the election, but... You know, might sound weird, but more government restrictions on the internet might backfire into teaching young people more internet skills, forcing them to learn how to use underground options. It will. It definitely will. It already has. It definitely already has, Kirby. Because I mean, you can. Okay, can I go here? Or here? Or sacrifice the work for literally no reason at all, and then I just do that. Now he obviously takes though, right? I give a check first, and then he goes there, but then that. If he goes here, boom, boom. Here. Okay, well, I might as well do this, I feel. Because I can get the queen out of danger first. But then I can give a check. Okay, what am I talking about? What am I actually talking about? But I'm actually out of my mind. Goodness me. Yeah, just wins the bishop. I mean, do I need to win the bishop, though? Is there another thing? Here. Boom. No, because I'm pawn here, right? He is there. Really? Here. 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 Now, does that actually do anything? No. Here, yeah. People already have Kirby. I mean, look. I mean, it happened. The kids are smart. That's the easiest answer. Kids are smart. They'll find a way around it. They always will. And you're right in the sense that people will. Like, the kids will become better, actually, at using tech as a result of this. The only reason why I wouldn't fully agree with that is because typically what happens, like, is one kid finds a solution. Like, one actually tech-savvy kid finds a solution. He then gives it to his friends who don't know what they're doing. And then his friends don't have to put in the effort of learning the solution. So the friends don't actually learn anything, and then it spreads around the whole school and then everyone uses it, but it's only one guy who actually knows how it works. I know this because I was that one guy when I was 15, and I can talk about this story after the game, but I was that one guy, so I know that's how it works. And so in reality, I think it will actually be really bad for children. It will be really bad, and the reason is because they will be put to these underground sites without knowing what they're doing. And worse yet is the people who own those underground sites they will know, because obviously they're not stupid, they will know that their main audience is going to be children, right? If they set up like an Instagram alternative during the the fallout of all of the UK government's crap, then okay, I'm gonna take this first. Actually, it's probably a better move. Then they know, right, that the audience is going to be children that they've siphoned from the fallout of everything being blocked. And listen, when you have someone that knows that they're going to get a bunch of children in basically their hands, right, because they own the site, right, so it's in their hands what they do with the child, right? And when you have random fully grown men then own a site and now have a bunch of children in their hands that they can collect, any amount of data from, especially when it's a sharing website such as Instagram or, some alternative version of Instagram. Well, I wonder what's going to happen then. Very, very simple answer, fellas. Very simple. Unfortunate, but that's what happens. I can't go here because there's a rook block, and I don't want a rook block because then I can't save the knight. It's really annoying. I can go here, but then the queen here is, really dangerous. Shall I just... Maybe it's fine. Maybe it's fine. I'm not convinced though, because here is this though. Here it's also that though. But then I have... Do I? Even if I do that, the king moves somewhere. Or I guess rook here is probably more reasonable. And then I go here. There's still this. And then this. And then that. I would rather be in that situation, I feel. I would much rather be in that situation. Alright, well, we have to do it anyway, doesn't we? So it's a very simple answer, fellas. Let me... Listen, you know what? No, that doesn't work, does it? Bloody hell. Yep, well, we have to do this. And I'm going to allow that. And then I'm going to go king d2. Or king d7. Hello, Coding for Hours. How you doing, man? We were just talking about the age verification garbage. King d7. I think that's kind of over, actually. It's kind of over. Is it not kind of over, fellas? Listen. Okay, that's surely over. No. Here. Here. Damn, bro. It's got to be over somehow. I promise you it's got to be over. The only move is literally that. And then... I've got to do it, though. I've got to do it. Come on, fellas. No, this is kind of over. I'm not gonna lie, I think it's kind of over. He has to do this, right? There's no other move. But then I have 6. Has to be played. And then... I could go rook g3. Rook g3 is kind of over as well, because now you can't take this, right? But I suppose you can move the king. I suppose you can move the king. But then I double the rooks. And now you still can't take the knight, right? Because I just... Doesn't that just win the game? Yeah, it has to go here. F6 is kind of over as well. Yeah, I think that's actually kind of mega over, because now I can do this, right? Play check. It makes you win the game. Trust, dude. All like the low elo people think that that's like, just like a check is almost equivalent to a win. They always think that. It's funny, really. It's probably why, like, a lot of beginners just like give random checks for no reason, because they think that check has to be a strong move, because it's like it sounds, it literally just sounds similar to checkmate, and that's probably why. All right. Well, now this is the case. I can do that, and now you can't take the knight. And we've cemented a rook here. And so the queen is literally just like doing nothing. So, listen, maybe it's over. Okay, the king here cannot be a good move. Now, how do we win the game from this position? I don't know. There is that, but then the king goes back. I tell you, I would go here, but then there's that. But is there? Because then I have queen g4, which wins the game. that actually just wins the game. If that, I have that because the pawn doesn't defend g4. So does that win the game? That wins the game. And if nothing happens, I have this, which also pretty much wins the game, right? Okay, let's do that. I think I'll go queen g7 because I'm threatening queen h6. I think queen h6 is mate, right? Because the reason I wanted to do this because I wanted to take this diagonal out because I know that's the escape square. I think queen g7 is the only thing that possibly threatens that. You can't take this because now g4 is not defended. Queen g4 is mate. You can't take this because then here, and you know, I win the game, right? So queen h6, how do you prevent this? This is mate, right? This is all taken. You can't take this, you can't take the knight. Oh, it goes there. Wow, I didn't see that. Ah, it's saved. I suppose it's saved to a certain extent then, right? I mean, queen h6 here though. Yeah. Aye. Well, we can go here, but then that, right? Here. Yeah, that's kind of annoying. What do we do? Well, what if I just do nothing, I suppose, right? Yeah, what if I just do nothing? Because again, this is pinned again, right? So it doesn't matter. Can't offer a draw. Listen, man. I don't know who's playing me. Just check what he had to say. Okay. Well, I usually don't because it's I don't really like to, but so good. I'm watching a stream. Okay. Alright, bro. Alright, well that wins the queen. What if we lose on time? I don't think I'm gonna lose on time at this point. But you know, we'll see. I think our advantage should be good enough to survive the clock. I mean, where do you even go? I guess you can go back down. Well, no, I suppose queen h6. But then queen here. Ah, but then I can play rook e2. So it doesn't work. It was so hilarious, by the way. Yeah, but I lost on time. I think I should be okay. I don't know. I use winner cat. Really? Thanks, man. Right, this is surely a win, right? Like, I don't understand how you could possibly... Okay. I mean... Right. Now, how do we... I mean, it doesn't matter. Come on, let's go here. What are we doing? You've got to go here. Dude, there has to be a way, right? There's no universe. Like, how we, I mean, now we can sacrifice the rook, right? Here, king here, and then, yeah, okay, fine. Oh my goodness. Wait, he doesn't have to do that though, right? No, he does. He definitely does. Okay. Dude! Alright. Fantastic. I think that should be a win, but... Don't worry about the clock, fellas. I think we're chilling. We are indeed chilling. Cold. Yeah, alright, we'll do another one, but only because no one else is giving me a challenge. Alright, fellas. It is the French defense. Ugh. Keep playing this. It's so boring. But, okay. That was fantastic. Well, thank you, fellas. I appreciate it. You know, sometimes you just have to just cool your blood down. That was probably it. I'm fine with this, by the way. I'm completely fine with C4. I can go back and I can be chill. Dude. Okay, he takes, and then I can take back and then be fine. Okay, he's doing that. Now if I do this, there's definitely going to be a bishop here. Is that what I want? No, I'm going to go here. You put on a rated one. I don't care about the rating on this account. I have no allegiance with chess.com. I don't care. How did you become so good at chess? I don't know, man. I don't know. Alright, let's play. I don't know. If Winter loses, he loses 154 elo. Really? I do. Wow. It's probably because I haven't played in so long, right? But I can't fathom any other reason. Wow. It's fine. I'm not bothered about elo. We've got to lock in, fellas. You know, we've got other things in life to do. I'm so fine with this, by the way, please, because my bishop is literally just a large pawn. What's your actual rating? I don't play on chess.com like at all. I have Elite Chess, and I think my Elite Chess is 2100 something. But I only really play classical. The thing is, like, I am actually not that good a chess player. Like, okay, fine, like 2100 classical and Elite Chess is like okay, right? But and that's literally the only thing I play, because I've only ever played chess casually. I used to like study, right, when I was, I don't know, 1200. But at a certain point I just stopped having any interest in that at all. So I don't know any theory. I can barely visualize the board. Well, I can visualize the board, right, but I can barely read the coordinates without the letters on the actual board. So I don't have like much of an intuition with it, I suppose. Well, I mean, I say that, but like I don't really know any openings, so I sort of go on intuition with all games. But like, you know what I mean. I don't really learn in the same way as you would. No, I can't just take this for free, right? Yeah, but what about... No, it's fine, right? No, it's so fine. It's important to get this elo's consistency. Oh yeah, I just play like 2,800. I feel like Elite Chess ratings have been inflated. Well, I don't know, man. I don't fucking care. I think from what I hear, it's like not so inflated past 2,000, but underneath 2,000 it is. Okay, well that is slightly depressing. I apologize. You should main Coward as your main black opening to get 2,000 plus elo. I am 2,000 plus. I'm 2,100. I don't play on chess.com. Okay, now I can definitely do that, right? Let's just give a check and win the bishop. Or is there a thing that I'm not saying? You can't even come onto this fight because of the work. Okay, well then I should be chill to take this. Elo farming situation. I mean, listen, I don't know, man. Might I get banned for this? Maybe if people are doing like rated challenges, you could say it's farming. Do I care? No. No, I do not. I literally created a website to make free one of their flagship products. Like, I would be baffled if anyone thought I cared about being banned on chess.com. I don't care. They probably view me as an enemy outright, as it is. I agree about the 2,000 part. I'm just 2,000 on the both sides. Well, I used to have an account on chess.com, which is like 2,080 something, but I just got rid of it. Yeah, how is that not mate? What move do you have? This here? Dude. Is that mate? No, because there's this. Dude, what do we do? Okay, there has to be a way, right? What if I sacrifice the queen for literally no reason? No, that doesn't work, does it? What am I doing, bro? If I go here, he goes there. Okay, let's do that, whatever. Because I could take the bishop. That surely has to be. Dude! What is number 6? I don't know. 44 was 81. Really? Was it indeed? So true, fellas. I didn't think of that. Okay, now can I go here? No, because you can take that with check. Go here, but then he has that. But then I have this. Ah, fellas, there must be a quicker way to win this game, right? Or am I just like a loser for even trying to rationalize this? Like, if... I mean, I don't know. What can I do here? Should I accept the draw, fellas? No, I shouldn't. What am I doing? Here, here, here. He has to go there. There's really not a way to win this. Like, you know what, fellas? Let's do that anyway, because why not? I don't know. It must be a win. You could have gotten 30 different mates in the last 2 turns. That's what you're all saying. I don't know, bro. Before rook f... Oh, really? No, because the d4 pawn is always hanging, right? Will always be hanging. There's no, like, before rook f5. Like, it's the same situation, is it not, fellas? Hello, Bear Cosmos. How you doing, man? Good to see you. I don't know you, but good to see you. Right. Have I sacked the queen for no reason? I don't know. This, okay, there surely has to be something. I can't, like, there's no... Okay, yeah, I mean... Fellas, there is surely not a universe in which this cannot be won. Like, I'm actually... I would be gutted if there is a way to lose this. Honestly. Should have won that a lot quicker. Playing subs? Yeah, I'm just... Well, I mean, I don't know if all of you are subs, but I'm playing the viewers. Queen e6 instead of queen d7. Guys, why don't we relax? I'm winning the game. What's the matter? I've been doing great. What about you? I've been doing alright, man. I've been trying to, you know, trying to survive the undying heat of the summer, and I've been trying to work on my latest video. 2,435 rated. Okay. Let's lose a chess game, fellas. Bullying low elo dummies. Well, I've just been playing anyone in the chat. The only reason I play people in the chat, by the way, if I had like a more interest, because again, I don't really have much an interest in playing competitive chess. Like, well, listen, I do it on the stream, but it's not my favorite thing to do. Like, if I had the choice to like start coding and, you know, people would still watch it, then I definitely would. But unfortunately, that isn't really the case. So, because if I do that, nobody wants to watch, which is fine in a sense, because coding isn't very interesting, right? At least to watch, right? So, so I don't really. I play chess, and one of the reasons I play chess, because I know that all of you will sit around and watch me play chess. I know that because I have 22 current viewers, which is like pretty much the highest that I'll get by playing chess. And also because the reason people like to stick around, especially when the streamer's playing viewers, is because people seem to have this like ego of like, if I can beat the streamer on stream, then I'm somehow like more valuable as a person. Which is a ridiculous, you know, culture that sort of exists in the chess community for some reason. I say for some reason, if it's not painfully obvious, but like, people have an ego of winning games in front of other people. So I use that to my advantage by playing on the stream. Now I can go c5. Now, is c5 actually a good move? That's kind of a different question though. I could just go here randomly and then, you know, instantly die, but I feel like that wouldn't be maybe optimal. Maybe it would be optimal, actually. I don't know. Should we just do it anyway? I don't care. Oh, you lost your Orly Elo? I don't play on chess.com. I play on Lead Chess. Can't really do anything here, can we, lads? 46 for no reason. Well, I can go f6, but I feel like f6 is going to be something weird that happens. Alright, well, it's not so bad. Probably. I'm the play from before. Let's play again in 3 months. See if I can win against you. Set a timer. No, I don't care. I'm just joining college. It is a CSE major. Nice. That's computer science, right? Something computer science engineering? I don't know. I don't even know what that is. I presume it's computer science, but nice. How do I learn open source contribution? Well, I think you're just asking how to learn coding, right? Because our open source contribution is literally just coding, but like adding to someone else's project. I don't really see what the difference is. Now, can I go F5 is a bit of a speculative question. That's a very, very speculative question, although I could go F5, but I feel like that's coming in. It's like, you know how it is, fellas. Oh, there is a knight F. Yeah, actually, bloody hell. Bloody fucking hell. What do we do about that then? Yeah, maybe just nothing. We'll just go bishop d6. Here, I can do that. And that's fine. We'll just hear that. Maybe I don't care, like, maybe I don't even care. But I do slightly care. Here, does that work? Not fucking really, mate, does it? I mean, bloody hell. And we can go bishop here. I don't know, I'll go here, I don't care. Open source contribution is coding, except now they're a bunch of egotistical people in the issues tab thinking you owe them something. Contribution is the hard stuff. It takes so much time to understand the code base. Yeah, that's true. Dude. I was meant to tell... Okay, hold on. I'm going to tell everyone a story of... about the age verification thing. I told everyone a story about, like, I created something for other people to bypass restrictions. I'll talk about that in a second. I love how when Winter doesn't want to do something, he really tells you that he doesn't. Someone says, let's play later. I don't really care. Listen, man, you got to be honest. We got to be honest with ourselves. You know, we can't tiptoe around this. This is probably a good move because a 2400 did it. So does that mean I'm just done? Like, that is the end of the road, because there is literally nothing that I can do at this point. Dude, I don't understand what you expect me to even like do here, right? I mean, I can go here, but it doesn't do anything. Listen, man. There isn't anything. Bloody hell. Alright, let's go here for no reason. When the next vid? Hopefully soon. I'm going to try and get an editor to do most of that video, to be completely honest with you. Can't do that now because of this. Bloody hell. Bloody hell. Wow. Alright, let's just do nothing then, I guess, right? Let's go h6. I guess we just go h6. I mean, there is... Okay, let's go with the edge now, come on. What's your lead chess rating? My lead chess rating is 2100 something. I don't know. Is it actual job front end or back end? Someone else? I am a student. I have no job, but I'm open to getting a job. I probably shall be looking for a job soon. Bloody hell, I should probably get one. But at the moment, technically my job at the moment is YouTube. Like, that's my main income is YouTube. My secondary main income is Winter Chess. But it pays rent, but like nothing else. So I should probably get a job. It's kind of like I might be looking for one soon. Bloody hell, would I go here? I don't want to do that because he's going to attack my bloody knight. I literally have nothing. I can go here and that just I just instantly die. There is nothing that can be done. I'm just going to go h6. I can literally just do nothing. Do you already have an editor? I do not already have an editor. I'm just saying I need to get an editor. I need to get an editor to do this, my friend. What do I do here? He's attacking the fucking bishop. Oh no. I'll do that. That. I can technically do that, but I mean, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. I have to go bishop back. When's the Winter Cat Q&A? We can do a Q&A right now. I don't care. Nothing we're doing. I'm probably going to resign this game at some point because I unfortunately find it very difficult to talk about anything while this is happening, which is really annoying. And look, what can you do? I mean, I can do that, but then he's going to do that, and then actually no, he's not, because then I'm going to attack. Two things, am I? I don't even know. Alright. Seems pretty good to me. Should I take with the pawn? I definitely shouldn't. I could take with the queen. I think I'm gonna have to take with the queen. Bloody hell. I can't. Oh no, I'm gonna have to take with the pawn. No, I have to take with the pawn. Unless. No, that doesn't work. That does not work whatsoever. Yeah, I'll take with the pawn. What can I do? Yeah, fellas, I got a story for you about trying to bypass censorship. But let me finish the game first. Sorry, I find it difficult to talk about things when I'm playing the game. I apologize for that, because I know earlier someone was saying there's a bunch of egotistical people in like GitHub issues. There is, by the way. It's not even like, I feel like it's not even ego. I feel like a lot of like, I don't know if maybe you guys can you know, fill me in on this. I feel like there's been a strange situation of like just AI generated like GitHub issue slop. Like I swear, like 90% of the things now that I'm receiving on Winter Chess as like issues or as pull requests are people that have asked ChatGPT to make a contribution. It's made, and then they've just like submitted that as if I'm going to accept it. Like I had, I think, one of the stupidest pull requests of all time. I think maybe a couple of months back. This guy joins the Discord server, right? And he says, can you look at my pull request, right? Now, I'm convinced that some of that pull request was AI generated, right? But not only was it probably AI generated, I don't even know what it did, by the way. So from what I understand, it made some existing systems worse, and then it also added his name into the credit section in the footbar. No, what's it called? Is it called the footbar? The thing at the bottom. Is it a footbar? You know, the thing at the bottom of the page. He also he added his name to the bottom of the credit, so it was like it was Wintercat X his name, right? Not only did he do that, he also added a link to my and his YouTube channel. In the what's it called? It's not called a footbar, is it? It's definitely not called a footer. A footer, thank you, CMI. In the footer. It was a link to his YouTube channel and mine. Now, I don't mean to sound, you know, cocky or anything, right? But if you imagine, like, if you imagine, right, the two YouTube links are in the. First of all, I didn't even ask to have the YouTube links. I didn't want them there anyway. But if you imagine what the situation is, and it's like, can I do that? I can't do that. If you imagine what the situation is, and then it's a link to my channel which has 28,000 subscribers and like several, you know, well-made videos, and then you click on his link and it has like 14 subscribers, and then, you know, low resolution like MS Paint. It's probably not MS Paint, but you know what I mean, like low resolution, you know, 14-year-old kid style profile picture with no videos at all. What an absolute idiot. It was so stupid. So I think it was, I mean, it was definitely a kid, right? And so I can't bash him too much because it's definitely a kid that just doesn't know what he's doing. But I think that was the stupidest pull request I've literally ever received. Like, what in the world are we doing, bruh? Can you use MS Paint to explain things? You can't edit it? No, I can't. You're right. But you get what I mean, fellas. I really need... Can I do that? Is that really? No. No. Here. Forget it. Do it. Do it. Why not? That does not work. Definitely does not work. But listen, it is mildly humorous. And that is all I need. At this point, he bought the full ownership for 3. Well, that's the problem. It's an open source project. Why is he putting his name and only his name on the credits? Like, it's just, I mean, it's just a kid. And listen, all kids are stupid. It just is what it is, right? But just goodness me, man. I mean, what in the world are we doing here? Like, no, I can go here. There is that. Here. Doesn't bloody work, does it, son? No. No, doesn't work. There's nothing you can do about that, fellas. I don't know if Tony would be here. He'd be proud. Why? Why would that be the case, my friend? Just move the rook, bro. Just play rook e7 or something, right? Please. Might be a draw if you try enough. I've got 35 seconds, fellas. The clock doesn't play well with the stream. Alright, he goes there. I mean, what can you do? Can't really do anything now. I can go here, actually. Suppose. But it doesn't. I mean, look, there's only a certain extent to which this helps. What can I do? The kid who doesn't know what he's doing, but at least I know how to be cautious to others. I'm like, yeah, it's just... Listen, I don't bash him necessarily too much because he is just a kid, but I mean, it's just... It's annoying because I deal with it so often. Like it's actually ridiculous. Just came with you, so goof. Thank you, I appreciate it, man. This actually has a codex name in it. What do you mean? Because you sacrifice because you sacrifice a piece of content. Okay, I see it now. Yeah, it wasn't a good sacrifice, but I thought maybe it would do something. Because I thought maybe the queen check, there's an open file here, maybe. But look, you can't win everything, can you? I could try to go here, but it doesn't matter, he just moves here. I mean, it's fucking nothing, is it? Actually, I can go bishop e... Can I go bishop? Yeah, I mean, kind of. Alright. Don't care too much about that. I can go g4. Let's survive. And, you know, try our best, fellas. We gotta try our best. Look. Attacking the rook? Rook c6? There's no way. There's no way, by the way. He's not gonna do it. I don't even know why I think I have any chances here, because I definitely don't, but you know, sometimes you gotta believe. Sometimes it's the belief. Clip that chat before sacrificing, I don't care, but I would actually be very grateful if someone clipped things, and then, because then I can just post them as shorts. Or indeed, I was, well, actually maybe I could just do that now. Because maybe I could post like stream highlights, like, you know, longer form stream highlights onto the second channel. I was thinking of doing that, but then I thought, I don't know if there's actually anything interesting enough on the second channel. Oh, sorry, on the streams. But I'm gonna have a, well, this game's probably gonna end pretty soon, right? It looks like. So I can talk about. I'm going to tell you guys a story, right? Which is, it's something that happened to me when I was like 15 or 16. So this is the story of my first ever coding project. Well, actually, that's a slightly inaccurate name, I think, but it's accurate enough. Right, let's go here. It's one of my first ever coding projects, so it doesn't matter. Now, if that will be allowed, that would be wild. It will definitely not be allowed, and it will be overturned by VAR. But that would be very hilarious. I mean, 9 seconds. Listen, fellas, what can you do? There's only a certain amount that one can do, and you know, it's not going to be today, right? But I mean, okay, just yeah, that's the thing. Well, good game. Alright, fellas, it's time for story. Yeah, offside. It's time for story. Can you open up thing? Okay, fellas, this is real, by the way. This actually happened. Okay, so let me read the chat though. Okay, it doesn't matter. Okay, so fellas, I'm going to talk about this because we were talking about the online verification stuff earlier, and it reminded me of something when we were talking about how kids will always be able to bypass online safety things, right? They will always be able to find some website that allows them to access social media. They will always get around censorship, right? And this is the problem, I think, with a lot of censorship things overall. It's very difficult to outright stop it, especially on the internet. I personally think it's impossible on the internet. I don't see any universe where you could possibly do that. I think if you really want to go down that route, then you basically need something that China has, right? But as I was saying earlier, I don't think that necessarily works either. Well, I mean, no one in the UK will accept a China internet, right? But I have no doubt that the UK government will be open to doing that. But that's what you need, right? If you really want to stop people from using certain things. And even if you do a China internet, it doesn't work. People still get around it. I know that because I went to China like many times. So I know that it doesn't work. And so when it doesn't work, obviously the only reason that it exists is to control people on the internet. Right? Internet, yeah, China has basically an intranet. The only reason they do it is to control people. I mean, everyone knows that, right? It's not like people don't know this, right? But when we were talking about that and kids bypassing it all the time, it reminded me of something. This was one of my first ever coding projects, right? So when I was 15, right? And basically how I got into coding, like when I think it was like 10, I used to use Scratch when I was 10. Now, for those of you that know what Scratch is, you'll know that it's the OG, you know, extremely aura programming language, Scratch, right? But I never used to make, proper projects, I think, that I would sort of, release to other people. But the one of the first things I did, and this is when I got into web development, because I used to use Python, and I used to make really basic things in Python, and that was sort of my way into it, right? But when I was 15, right, and I was in school, and I must have been, bloody hell, what would you say, year 10? Probably year 10 or year 11 or something. I was 15, and it's still up, by the way, on my GitHub. I never changed the GitHub accounts or anything in that entire time. But one of my first projects, and the context for this, by the way, is, and this is how it ties into censorship. So in my school, right, they had a Chrome extension. They had a Chrome extension that would be like on every, because we all had laptops, right? We were all given laptops to use in school that we could use for doing like classwork and stuff, right? So we all had laptops, but every laptop had a Chrome extension on it, and the Chrome extension would be like the content filter. So this is like Big Brother. And Big Brother would not allow you to use like games websites, basically, and things that they would deem censored or that they don't want to go on, right? So like basically all of the games websites were blocked, which everyone was really annoyed about, because everyone liked to play browser games in class, and like flash games back in the day, right? And we all like to play like Papa's Pizzeria, games like that, the games on the browser. Like we all used to like playing these, but we had this Chrome extension that would block it. And basically how it worked is the Chrome extension would run some code so that if you went onto a page, the Chrome extension would see the URL and then redirect you to a page, like a blocked page, basically. Oh, that I've heard of it, yeah. So it was really stupid. I really hated it, but I really wanted to play games in class, but I couldn't because of the Chrome extension. So, oh, there's a plane outside. Okay, sorry. So what I did was, and this was when I was getting into web development, and one of my first ever websites or website projects, and I'll show you this on my GitHub. I got around that just by using my phone. Cell service couldn't monitor me. Didn't help when there's no cell, so I couldn't use my phone. They wouldn't let you use phones in the school. They wouldn't let you use phones. They'd just be instantly confiscated. But we had little like school given laptops, and we had to use those. So okay. So what I did, right, one of my first ever website projects was a website where you could play browser games. That was literally, I own an unblocked game site for the funsies. I literally did the same thing, but I coded it myself, because I know that a lot of people use Google Sites. A lot of people used to use Google Sites for that because it was really easy, but no. And because obviously Google was usually like, the Google domains were usually not blocked by the school, right? What is this about? I just got here. Are we talking about censorship? So I literally coded my own site for this, and it was called Netcade, right? It was called Netcade, and that was one of my first ever projects, and it was literally just a website where you could play browser games, and had a little tab bar at the top or something where it was like home and games and something, and then all I would do is find random browser games already on the internet. I would then go into inspect element and then copy the embed link, and then like it was literally just iframe, like the iframe HTML element with different source links that I had stolen from other browser site games. So that's how I was able to embed all of these games onto my website, and that was the website. I wonder actually if I can pull it up, because it was I mean it was certainly horrible code. Please have no doubt about that. It was horrible code. Wait, how would that be unblocked? Because it was simply a new link. It was just a link that they hadn't put in the list, right, of blocked websites. That was literally it. I wonder if I can pull it up. I'm gonna pull up the old thing because I eventually actually remade the whole website from the ground up. But it's one of the oldest. Well, I think it is the oldest one. See if I can find it. Oh, I'm not logged in. That's why. Bloody hell. Hold on, let me log in. Were the blockers like that unsophisticated? It was okay. The blockers were like essentially just a list of blocked links, and like it was basically like regexes, right? There were certain like entire domains that were blocked, but like a terrible blocker. Yeah, it was terrible. But I mean, the school obviously subscribed to it, right? But anyway, this is what it is here. This was one of my first ever website projects from 5 years ago. You can see, right? And I there's no way it's still up, right? There's actually no, dude. There's no way. Okay. So this is literally it. Now this is obviously just HTML, JavaScript, and CSS. I'll consider 2000s. Yeah. So it was literally just this, a website by Wintercat. I didn't even know it was called Wintercat back then. Nice. And that's literally it. And it was literally just HTML, CSS. I don't even know what this is. Dude, I remember this, right? So, so this is my horrific JavaScript. And you can see the sort of, what is this, 2,000 character long lines. And it was one of the first things I ever did. Now this here, right? What it did, there was a little button that you could use on the website, which if you clicked it, it would allow you to enter a name and icon for your tab. So for example, you could put in Google Drive and then you could enter like a Google Drive icon, right? It would let you select a Google Drive icon such that you could basically disguise your tab as Google. And the reason you would do that is because then when you go to another tab, then it would look like Google. And if the teachers like walked around behind you, then it would be fine because they would think you're on Google. Because they obviously look at your tabs for like cool maths games or something, right? So if you did this, they would walk around and they wouldn't see that it was cool maths games. So I added that. I also added a panic function, right? And at the time I was like, I didn't know much about like JavaScript, but I knew enough that I could sort of get my way around it, and it was the most fun. And this is why I always subscribe to the idea that the best way of learning coding is to simply build things, because the minute you build something that you're like having fun building and that you're like mildly passionate about, then it becomes extremely easy to learn quickly. I had a panic button, and it was this red button that was always, it was like, you know, position fixed, and it was in the bottom, I think, right corner of the screen. And so when people were on the website, if a teacher came round, you could press panic. It would instantly cloak the script, cloak the tab. The tab would instantly change to, you know, Google or something. It would then open a new tab on like Google Slides or just the main page of Google, so that, you know, you could instantly basically alt tab if a teacher came round by pressing the panic button. It would instantly set you back into like study mode, basically. It would give you, you know, a study looking setup where you have Google open and then you've got Google Drive as the original tab. So you could press panic if a teacher came round and you didn't have enough time to like reset your computer setup, or to, you know, to open a tab yourself and like hide it yourself. So you could press panic to save yourself. So listen, fellas, you know, I thought about the customers early. You know, I was thinking about the customers. You know, I knew my customers. I knew the demographic, my friends. And so that I really wonder. I'm gonna see if I can copy this and download it for you. If I do that, and then I'll try to download it for you here. Hold on a minute. Give me a second. I'm gonna see if I can clone this, because that would be very, very funny. Okay, next, open terminal. Okay, let's see. I can probably just put this up actually. Git clone github.com/netcade old. Boom. Now, because this is a very basic website, I won't really need to start it up or anything. I should be able to just like load up the page. Fellas, now what do we think about my first ever website project? You could also just F4. Yeah, but it wouldn't. You would lose the Kirby. The reason you don't want to do that is because you would lose the save state in your game. So that's why I made the panic button. You want to keep the tab open because otherwise you'll lose the save. Because they're just browser games, right? There's no cookies. My coding class, but I knew everything, so I got bored. I played a driving game where you just drive around a 2D map of Google Maps. Nice. I think I played that actually. So fellas, an unblocked. I mean, this is just the most cliche paragraph I think I've ever written. But panic. Now, what do we think, fellas, about that? Google Classroom. It still works. I'm actually very surprised it still works. The panic button in the games, mate. We've got all the classics here. Man, I used to be a Vex 4 speedrun. I used to speedrun the hell out of that game. I used to grind like my speedruns at the first level. I used to play a lot of that in class. Slope, love Slope, dude. Slope high score was like that was like an actual honorific in class. If you had the high score in Slope. Oh, it's covered up by the cat. Oh, I'm so sorry. Hold on. Oh no, fellas, do we see it? Do we see it in the corner? The panic button. Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah, listen, we got the classics here. Right? Stranded IO, dude, I love Stranded IO. Moto X3M used to play that. I personally used to play Penalty Kick Online, but I don't think anyone else did. And you can probably also notice that some of them are like strangely positioned slightly higher than the other blocks. That's because I didn't know how flex worked or like how any positioning worked. So I would literally just put them in a place and then like position relative, like top left, bottom up, or top left, bottom right, just to like, you know, pixel by pixel move them into the right position, which obviously isn't responsive, but it didn't actually matter at the time because all of the laptops were the same size, right? It's the same laptops. Bartender right makes in my country, dude. I love the bartender game. The bartender game was so. I don't think any of the games work now, but it was so good. So, fellas, we've got tools, unblocked YouTube. Now, I think this one. I don't know what this was actually. I wonder. Yeah, piped. See what I said about pipe, fellas? See, I've known about that for a while. And then there's proxies here, which you can you know, use to unblock things as well. And then the bookmarklet, dude, I loved bookmarklets. They were so good back in the day. Back in school. So a bookmarklet, for anyone that doesn't know, is a name for a bookmark like in your browser. But it has a piece of JavaScript code in the bookmark. So if I add like a page right now, then I can do JavaScript : and then I can run JavaScript code when you click the bookmark. So if I do alert hello, you can see that. So I can now run JavaScript. So I also created how much time did this project take? Like I'd say a week. It was one of my first projects. Oh dude, there was the tab cloak with the settings, and I'm pretty sure this was just position fixed, by the way. But dude, this was so good. I can do anything, right? Apply, and then it changes, and I can change it to Google Drive, Google Classroom. Mate, I was so good. I was so happy with this, dude. And so this is what I made, right? And this was back in, oh bloody hell, 2021 when I made this. And so this was one of my first ever website projects, and I created this, and then I released it to I gave it to some of my friends because like it was really difficult. That like the school really cracked down on games, so they banned, like, you know, they instantly censored any website that was even remotely related to games. In fact, anything with games in the link was banned. instantly, which means you could Google the word games and it would be blocked. It was ridiculous. So you wouldn't believe this, by the way. You wouldn't believe how I got around that. If I go to the home page, right, you see this where it says games, right? I wonder. I really hope this still works. Watch this. If I put this through a character counter. Wait, why do I know all these cloaking strategies? If you know this coding for hours, you are an actual, like, legend. If you know this. I wonder if I... It's 5 characters. Dude, there's no way, right? Please. Oh. Meta Horizon link. I wonder if it's going to do it. Okay, well, I don't know. I can't find it now. Oh, no, because it was in the second one. I'll go into that in a second. Listen, fellas. So what I would do, right? I would take and... Dude, shut the fuck... With this Meta Horizon link, I don't care. What the fuck? Still doesn't top my previous high school's most ridiculous policies. Well, listen. How many users did your site have? Okay, we're going to go into that. Because it was a lot. We're going to go into that. So one of the things I did, because anything with... Even in the HTML content, if the word games was in the HTML content of the page, it would instantly be blocked by the Chrome extension, right? And obviously the school had like an IT department, and it was 2 guys in the IT department that would control the Chrome extension, and they would add links to it and such, right? So what I did to get around this, there's a website called emptycharacter.com, which is literally a Unicode character that is completely empty. So it's like this, right? You see that? I'm going to paste it a few times. You can see I'm pressing backspace now. It's still there. So it's an empty character. And what I did was I simply injected an empty character at some point within the word games, so that it would then augment the HTML content so that it technically didn't contain the word or the string games. And so that's how I used the word games on the website without it getting blocked. So that's what I did, right? And you could play games on here. And I made this website in about a week, just before the year, the academic year restarted, because I made this during the summer. And I gave it to a few of my friends when the year started, and they started using it. And what happened, and I didn't even know that this happened, by the way, but what happened overnight was one of those people, like, okay, so what I initially did, right, the way that I gave it to my friends was, look, Bro's just here to flex. What I did was I gave them a Google Doc, right? I wrote a Google Doc with the link to the thing, and I shared that Google Doc with their Google accounts, because we all had Google accounts, right, in school. So I shared the Google Doc with them, and what I didn't realize was that I, as the owner of the Google Doc, was for some reason not the only person that was allowed to share the Google Doc. I didn't know that, but I didn't know they could also share it. So I shared it to them. I then went to sleep, and the next day that I came into school, there was like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe more people that were then added to the Google Doc. And what I also didn't realize is that they were allowed to edit the Google Doc. So for some reason, it had coalesced from simply the link at the top to a link plus an extra page where people had written reviews of the website. So other people in my class, and also, I mean, of classes across the whole school, or across my whole grade, if you will, had come together to write reviews on the website on the same Google Doc. And I woke up to find that, because I didn't know that they could add more people. I didn't know that they could write on the Google Doc themselves. I thought it was like only me as the owner. So I woke up to all of the reviews, and it seemed that maybe 9 or 10 people had used it, right? And that was amazing, by the way. And the problem is that after about a week's time, it got way out of hand. Everyone in my grade was using it after about a week or two. After maybe 2 weeks, I'm not kidding. literally everyone, because again, it's like, you give someone drugs when they want withdrawal, when they because no one could play games, and then for some, because it was really, like, the censorship was really really strict. So I figured out, the intricacies of the content filter Chrome extension and got around it with Netcode. And so literally the entire grade was on it. And I mean that, like, I would sit in the class, I would usually try to sit at the back, right? And I would see whenever we did like a laptop task, I would see this row of tables in front of me, and everyone is on the same website. They're all, I can see the logo, because I later added a logo, and it was a little 3D cube. I could see the logo and the top bar and the game that they were playing on like a row of seats in front of me in the class. One of my first ever coding projects, by the way. It went really out of hand, but the teachers obviously had no way to connect it to a student, right? You try Helium browser? No, I don't care. And the teachers had no way to connect it to, like, me. They had no idea that it could have been another student that had programmed this, like, because why would they think that, right? I was literally 15. Well, I'll just code your own. I've got my own browser. No, I don't care. So it came really out of hand, and eventually I created a new one, right? Now, by the way, one of the other bypasses I had was a bookmarklet. So, for example, because eventually they did actually block Netcode, and it maybe took them 3 weeks. Like, within 3 or 4 weeks, they had blocked Netcode, right? Which was like a big blow to everyone. But thankfully, I thought ahead about this. I thought ahead about whether they would block Netcode. So what I did immediately was I had... You didn't got snitched on by your classmates? No, because all my classmates were based. That's why. Yeah, that's exactly why. And so what I did, right, I had a bookmark that I created that its only purpose was to embed Netcode onto the bottom whatever page you were on. So the minute that Netcode got blocked, everyone already had this bookmark on their browsers. And the reason why that was good is because you could then go to Google, you could click the bookmark, and like literally a Netcode would load underneath the Google page. So you could then scroll down on the Google page and play games without actually loading the page. The page wouldn't load and you wouldn't see it in the URL bar. And so the Chrome extension wouldn't detect the embed. So you could literally just play games on the same page that you were already on by embedding it to the bottom of the page. And there was a bookmark that you had to do this. And I remembered this very vividly because I felt like the most aura individual in all of history when this happened. And I know it's just, it's literally nothing. It's the tiniest interaction. And yet I felt so aura when this happened. We were all on break and we were all, outside in the field doing whatever. And when the break ended, we all came back into the building. And I was stood there in the building as I saw, and this was the day that Netcode got blocked, by the way, as I saw literally, it must have been a group of 40, 50 people, flooding into the building to go to the next class. Literally all of them were talking about Netcode, that it was all blocked. And this is why I thought it was aura, though. Not even because everyone was talking about it. The reason I felt it was aura is because there was one legendary man within that group who was protesting and yelling at them to use the bookmark. He was stood there in the crowd going, "Use the bookmark, use the bookmark." The reason I feel that's aura, I think, is because it's almost wholesome, because everyone is literally working together to it's almost as if people are helping me with this project, right? We were all sort of working, we were all in this together, I guess, around this Netcode. And I don't mean to be arrogant, I don't mean to flex, right? It's just I was so proud of that moment, because that was the moment that I felt I actually felt that there were other people who were engaged in this project, right? Who actually cared. Why not just +1 in the URName and keep adding a digit every time they block it? Because they would block the beginning of the domain, right? They would block the domain. chess again. Let's go. No, don't care. Leave. It's a good story. So that happened, right? And so this is the point where I was like, okay, this is a genuine thing. Like, people actually care about this. And so they blocked it, but everyone continued to use the bookmark. Now, at this point, I decided to create a new netcade, which is why I also have a netcade. Like, this is called netcade old because this was the sort of the first one. Like, this is my debut. My second ever website project was this. Using coding projects for everyone that everyone loves ever since high school. Listen, man, I was locked in. I mean, I got extremely lucky, to be fair with you, but okay, I'm gonna download this one as well because this I rebuilt it. It's probably illegal what I was saying. There's a point where it's probably illegal, but it doesn't matter. Come on. Right, let me delete that one. I'll delete the old netcade and then I'll well, will I? No, I shouldn't do that. I'll bring it back. Didn't do that. That's not very nice. Right. Hit new. Open terminal. Alright, fellas. Now again, it's just HTML, CSS, JS. I hadn't discovered anything past that, so here it is, fellas. And now is the cube icon that we all love, that I was talking about. Here we are. And the website for the skull. See, I leaned into it. I didn't even know I wrote that, by the way, but I leaned into it, fellas. And I think this is probably the first time I started using that empty character thing. If I put this into a character counter, I think it still says 5, really. Maybe I didn't use it. Maybe proxies. Or maybe it just doesn't paste. Yeah, it probably just doesn't paste, right? Ah, no, here we are. Proxres. This is 7 letters, right? But it says 8 characters because one of these is an empty character, an invisible one, which I use to bypass the HTML content scanning. So anyway, there's a change log here, and then there's a massive space in between the footer because I didn't know how to get the footer to actually be at the bottom of the page. But anyway, fellas, now what do we think? The updated games library. I don't know why I added short life. That was by request of a customer, by the way. There was one of the guys in my class who wanted short life, so I was able to add that for him. Obviously, we need the Fireboy more to go. Everyone loves Fireboy more to go. Let me turn the music down just a little bit. Have you heard of Ultraviolet? I have heard of Ultraviolet, but I don't know much about it. Are there movies as you promised? Did I really promise that? There is. I remember adding these. I never added them all, I don't... Well, no, actually, I don't know. I added season 1 of Squid Game. I added like a few episodes of Rick and Morty. Again, these are all, by the way, hot linked from other places. So I think that makes it technically less illegal for me. Or maybe not illegal, but I did this and you could watch the things. Again, it's an embed of another site. Like, I wasn't the one hosting the films, but it was a hot link of another site, so there was a cinema. But I won't talk about it too much because the cinema is, like, you know, actually a grey area, right? In terms of, am I allowed to do that? But I mean, as a kid, I didn't care, right? So I copy pasted my first proxies. I didn't even code it for real. I mean, fair. Yes, I got all the web tools here. Roblox emulator. This was like, I think, now.gg, but this was before now.gg was like exclusively paid. So you could actually do it. Unblock YouTube, proxy, emulators for retro consoles. Here was the thing, right? Here's the bookmark. And what you would do is you would literally just drag the bookmark into that. And that would be it. Now watch this, fellas. If I click that. Mate. Now listen. And that was it. If the teacher came round, just whoop, that would be it. So, fellas, now.gg's paid. I'm pretty sure it's paid, right? Like, I'm pretty sure you can't use it anymore just for free. Maybe I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, then excuse me. When was this? This was just after, like, after the, you know, the situation with Netcode getting blocked. Because it used to be on a link. It was on Netlify. If anyone's heard of Netlify, then you'll know what I mean. It used to be hosted on Netlify, and it was netk.netlify.app. But then I recoded it, and because the domain was blocked, I thought, well, I might as well put it on a new domain. So it was now netk.github, no, wintercat.github.io/netcade, I think. I'm pretty sure it became the GitHub, because I put it on GitHub pages. I meant, what year was this? This was 2022, early 2022. This was my last year of secondary school, or you would call it high school, I guess, right? But I was 16 or 15. No, I would have been 15 when I made this. How about Cloudflare pages? I don't know. I didn't know about them. I only knew about Netlify and GitHub pages. That's all I knew about back then. Yeah, tab cloak, same thing. You can you would give you a thing to enter the new tab title and an icon. So it would give you an icon thing, and you know, it worked pretty much the same, which is pretty cool. YouTube restriction bypass. Yep. So that was pretty good. What can I say? And you know, the YouTube restriction bypass, you would basically, because YouTube was unblocked, but if you went onto a YouTube video, it wouldn't load. So what you would do is you would click that thing while you were on the YouTube video page. It would then open a new tab where you could watch it unblocked. It's just that good. And it was, and there's obviously the GitHub page as well. And mate, using YouTube cookie, yeah, obviously the embed. It's got to be YouTube no cookie. It literally has to be. I wonder if I can. I don't know if I can look at the code, but yeah, as you can see it in the bottom left, YouTubeNoCookie.com. YouTube no cookie, brilliant, by the way. I have to like remember these things because it's so long ago that I actually touched any of this. Of course, it's YouTube no cookie. We love it. And yeah, so I rebuilt the thing at some point, right? And this is what it was. I was so like, look at this. And I can results 1, and I can press enter to search for a game. And I can shuffle it as well, because some people like that. Some people asked for the shuffle, or some people said they liked the shuffle, so I added it. Dude, I was so pleased with that, by the way. The code was absolutely rubbish, but I was so pleased with that. I don't even know where it is, to be honest. Where even is the scripts? Let's see. Commons, game library, and there's the shuffle. There's all of the games, by the way, in that list. And load game boxes and the game search. Where's the shuffle? Don't know. Don't even know where the shuffle is. Ah, shuffle equals false. If shuffle, shuffle away. Where did I get shuffle away from? Don't even know. Not even there. Nice. Maybe it's in commons. Or util. Yeah, shuffle away. I just copy pasted shuffle away, by the way. I don't even know how that works. But yeah, so I made this in about early 2022. This was the last year of school, of high school, if you will. And at this point, you know, basically everyone in my grade was using it. In fact, there were some people in other grades that were using it, although even though there wasn't, you know, much communication between different grades, right? Pretty much everyone was using this. And this went on and on and on, by the way. Like, they would block it, and then I would find some way to get around it. They would block it again, and then I would find another way to get around it. There was always some way to do it, right? Whether it be the bookmarklet itself or the domain. I could just change the link in some small way, and they would unblock it. So that's basically what happened. And they kept trying to block it, but it never worked. And so this went on for the next, I mean, it must have been 5, 6, yeah, probably 5 to 6 months. People just kept using my website. And obviously the IT department in my school, it's a cat and mouse game, it was. the IT department at my school were very angry about this. They were very, very angry. They were very upset about this, right? And they kept trying to block it, and it didn't work. Now, by the way, again, no aura intended, but this is a 15-year-old kid against two apparently IT professionals that work at this school, and apparently somehow I'm winning, right? But it became Netcade became the de facto games website in the school. Like, even when people found other websites, I think people would still, I mean, they would get blocked quickly, but people would still use Netcade. Literally everyone was on it. And so I would go into class and I would use my own site because it was actually just the website. And I came from your website, you're the coach, thank you. I appreciate it. When it comes to proxies, yeah, I don't know. So literally everyone was on this, and it was fantastic. Like, it was fantastic. Well, because of your games, and they couldn't block it. And I scaled it up. Right? I was thinking, like, maybe I put advertisements on it, right? Because I know that everyone's using it. And in fact, I asked some people about, like, I think even someone suggested to me, like, Wilson, why don't you put advertisements on it and then, like, ask people in the school to pay you to advertise something on the site, because you know that literally everyone uses it, right? So if the students wanted to advertise something to other students, so they could. I never implemented that, by the way. I never got around to that, but that was a thing that was suggested to me. And it was fantastic. We could all play games, and I think at some point within that 6 months, the school probably gave up slightly on fixing it, and that's why it became the de facto games website, because everyone was on it, and the school almost accepted it as just a sort of unavoidable fact of life that people could use Netcade. But the school never knew that it was me. Now, eventually, in about, I think, May of 2022, probably around that time, they blocked Netcade not on a Chrome extension level. They blocked it at an operating system level. Now, we all had Chromebooks. Now, Chrome OS is very easy to add, school controls to. So they blocked it at an operating system level, which means even the embeds didn't work, because basically a network level, actually, I think is a better description. So you couldn't even make an HTTP request to Netcade. But again, it didn't work, because you could put it on a new domain and then redistribute the domain by word of mouth, because word of mouth was extremely quick in school, right? So it never worked. I don't even know how they at some point they found out that it was me. And I don't know exactly how they found it was me. I think it would have just been word of mouth, or maybe, I don't think someone snitched, to be honest with you, but I think it was just word of mouth and people talking about me, or me talking to people about the website. So it became an actual DNS sinkhole. I don't know. I don't even know what that is. But at some point they found it was me. They must. I don't even remember how they would have found it was me. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I couldn't tell you, but I knew that at some point in around May time, that people, like the teachers, were starting to, I think, catch on to, like, this is something that the students are orchestrating, because, well, I mean, I suppose it would have been obvious at some point, but I don't know. At some point they started to realize, and there was sort of an atmosphere of awkwardness in every class. Because, like, for example, when I went to my computer science class, the teacher, like, started talking about how people kept bypassing the thing to play games, and they started talking about how, like, the IT department are having problems. They're having problems stopping this, and, like, he was complaining about it, basically, right? How this is really annoying, because now certain things are blocked that need to be used for the class, right? I remember this because we used to have to use Replit. For anyone that knows what Replit is, where you, like, an online IDE Replit, right? And we used to use Replit in computer science class to code things. Replit got blocked. Replit got blocked by the IT department, not in mutual decision, by the way, with the computer science teacher. So what happened is they blocked Replit because me and a few other people kept using Replit to bypass the thing. And so, but they didn't agree on that. So I remember the computer science teacher had to go to the IT department and he started yelling at them, basically. I remember this. One of my friends told me that he walked past the IT department because the door's like pretty much always open, and he sees like the computer science teacher having an argument with the IT department because the computer science teacher is like yelling at them to unblock Replit, and the IT department is like arguing that people keep using it to bypass the thing, which is why the teacher started complaining in class to all of the students that Replit was blocked, because he was saying like, oh, we have this big problem with like, you know, people bypassing the thing, and so we've had to unblock Replit, and it's like, we're gonna get to the bottom of this. It's like, are you? And so and so there was an air of awkwardness in all of the classes for a while, because I could feel that something was happening and they were getting closer to finding that it was me. And I mean, I don't really care if they found, right? But it would have obviously, it would have sucked, right? So eventually this culminated in I was in English class. I was sat at the back of the class in English class, and everything was fine, by the way, you know, nothing was happening. And then one of the teachers walked into the classroom, right? And this is one of like, it's not one of those subject teachers, you know, one of those like random administrative teachers that are like higher than those that teach the subjects, right? One of those random like higher up people in the school. They come into the classroom, right? And they say, can I have Wilson, please? Can I, you know, can you come speak to me, Wilson? Right? And he says, bring your laptop with you, by the way. And so I have to, and at this point I knew that was it. Like, I'm dead, right? Like, the minute I walk out of that classroom, like, I will be killed by firing squad, is basically what I was thinking, right? So I walk out of the classroom, and maybe I should get MS Paint for this. I feel like this is an appropriate MS Paint moment. And so I have to, here's me, right? I have to walk out of the class, right, with my laptop in my hand. And I walk out of the classroom, and this, you know, higher up administrative teacher starts walking me out of the building. He walks out of the class building, and we start walking to literally the other end of the school. And in the other end of the school, there's a larger, you know, primary building of the school, you know, the main school building. And we walk into there, and he brings me to the IT office where the two people from the IT department are. Right, and at this point, I'm like, okay, well, it's pretty much over, right? So I walk into the thing, and there's a corridor inside there, and then eventually there's the IT room, right? And there's like a printer here or something, right? You know, something like that. I walk into the IT room, and the two guys are there, right? And I go in, and they take my laptop, which I paid, like my family paid for that, right, in full, by the way. They take my laptop from me, and they say, we're confiscating this now, and we're going to factory reset this laptop, and we're going to send you home. I mean, it was already the end of the day, so it's not, I'm not, you know, being suspended, right? But they said, okay, you can go home, right? But, or you can, you know, you can leave, right? But we're going to keep this laptop from you, and we're going to factory reset it, so you can't use it now. And for the foreseeable future, you're not going to be using a laptop. I have no idea the context and don't even explain. Okay, I won't explain. Don't worry. Hello, Dan, by the way. How you doing, man? Yeah, it's the Call of Doom, Kirby. It really is. And so they take the laptop from me, and so I can't use it. And look, I was really bummed about that, right? But they didn't tell me. Did they tell me? Oh, they did tell me. I know what happened. So I walked in, they took the laptop, right? And I remember I had to go back to the office a second time. So I had to go back a second time after I left. The second time I left, they sat me down. So the second time I went, there was one of my friends was actually in there, because he was also bypassing things. But that's a separate story. Is that even legal, factory resetting your personal laptop without your permission? I don't know. I have no idea. They just factory resetted it, right? Probably they need your passwords. Yeah, I think I had to give them the password. I don't know. Or maybe they were able to do it without the password. I have no idea. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. Um, so I came back a second time, and one of my friends was in there. He was also like, he also bypassed things in his own right, but again, that's another story. And they sat me down, and they said, dude, they sat me down, right? And by the way, the room is like this. So there's a computer, right? Their computer here, and the door's here, and I'm stood here, right? And they're that's really bad. Hold on. How do I draw legs like that? And they're sat here on the chair, right? You know when they sit on the chair and then they turn the lamp on and they say that they've been expecting you, right? So I'm stood here, and they're talking to me, right? And they say, "Why don't why don't you come over here and have a seat, right?" And so I walk over past the computer, right, such that I can now see the computer screen, right, because the computer's faced this way, right? So I walk past and I can now see the computer screen, and I see that they have my GitHub page. I see that they have my GitHub repository open on the computer, and that is when I know that it's all over. That's when I know that it's all over. But at this point, they don't actually know that it was me. They don't know that I'm Wintercat, but they know that there's a repository by Wintercat. So that's the situation, fellas. So I'm like, okay, they don't know, right? He's from the UK, not yet. If there's a Chromebook on the school Wi-Fi with school apps, yeah, and they can just do it on a Chromebook, which is really sad. Yeah, I don't know much about lawyers cost money. Listen, man, I'm not going to be able to get anything out of it. Doesn't matter now. But they have my repository on the computer, and that's how I know it's over. And they say, look, okay, we think that we know. Well, they say that we know you've been doing this. I'm like, well, okay. I think at the time when I was 15 or 16, I think I got scared because I told them that I was the one who made it. Like, because I thought, well, look, there's probably no way out of this, and I don't want to get in trouble. And I regret that. I regret folding there, because I didn't need to. But I was 16, and I folded, and I said that it was my site. But this is the crazy thing, right? After I said it was my site, they said, okay, look, we found this GitHub repository, right? They said they found this GitHub, and so they said, oh, Wilson, so you copied this. You copied this GitHub repository from another person in order to make your own games website, right? And I was saying them, and I told them, no, I programmed it myself. I made the website. And he looked at me and he said, okay, but you took it from this GitHub repository, right? Like you didn't, you copied it. And I said, no, I am the programmer. And he said, no, okay, but you copied it, didn't you? But like you took it from this, right? So he didn't believe me, right? He did not believe me. He did not believe me one bit that I was the actual programmer of this site. Right? I had to tell him at least like 4 or 5 times before it actually got into them that a 16-year-old had been like just outplaying them for the last 6 months. Right? So eventually they clocked it, right, that I was the programmer, but they kept my laptop for a while. And so I couldn't use it for basically the rest of the... Well, actually, we'll talk about it in a second. I didn't use it for the rest of the year. Now, for that... Now, to be fair, right, this was in June. This was in June 2022. And at this point, I was doing my GCSEs, which are the like finals, right? The final exams in high school for the American people here, right? And so after all of that was over, which would be at the end of June, that would be it. We would leave high school. That would literally just be it. And so the year was basically ending anyway, right? And we would leave relatively early and we would only come in for the exams at that point. So I didn't really care because it's like, okay, I'm not going to be in school, like, in the next week. I'm probably not going to be in school for maybe 80% of the time anyway, and even when I am, I'm not going to need the laptop. So I was like, okay, but and what are GCSEs? The final exams in high school. It's like the British version of like high school final exams. I don't know why am I explaining this to you, Dan? I know you know what GCSEs are. Yeah, so anyway, really hard. They weren't so bad. They were right. But anyway, it doesn't matter. So at that point, right, I went home one day, right, because I didn't want to tell. I didn't want to tell my like mum. I didn't want to tell my mum at home that I didn't have my laptop because it was confiscated for me doing a bad thing, quote unquote. Hello, Gudra, how you doing? I didn't want to tell her, so I tried to keep it secret for as long as I could. But one day I went home from school and I got into the living room and my mum said, "Why don't you can you sit down? Can you sit down and talk?" So I had to have a conversation with my mum, and she said to me that the the school had called her, had called her on the phone, right? So the school had telephoned her, right? You know, ring, 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 ring. Hello, and they told her that they told her that I was a hacker. They told her that I had hacked into the school or something, or to something along those lines. They had told her that I hacked into the school, right, and was causing all of these problems for the school with, bypassing systems because I was a hacker and that I was going to be in a lot of legal trouble or criminal trouble. That's what they told my mum over the phone. What an I mean, she doesn't know, right? She doesn't know anything about, like, she's not into tech like that. So she had to believe them, right? Because she wasn't into tech. Because obviously, if you're even remotely into tech, you know that that's rubbish, right? So like, so they told her I was a hacker, and and so I was like, okay, I tried to defend myself, right? I said, no, I'm not a hacker. That's absolutely rubbish. But she believes the school because I mean, what can she do, right? I don't even blame her because there's nothing you can do. If the school tells you, like, it's not like you know enough to like go back against it, right? So they told her I was a hacker, and that I was going to get into a lot of criminal issues. And so I had to have a conversation about that. Really awkward, by the way, because she doesn't understand, right? Really, really awkward, but it's okay. So I'm like, okay, fine. At least she knows now why I don't have a laptop and I can get on with my life, right? So then I have to just stick out the remaining week and a half or maybe 2 weeks of school without the laptop. And that's fine, right? I was like, okay, well, I don't care. I'll just be without the laptop. It's not the end of the world. Look, it kind of sucks, but it doesn't suck that much. I'm okay. So I lived without the laptop, right? And then I had my final exam, my last exam. And then I was able to, well, I was going to have one of my final exams, right? Because it was basically like, okay, I need to go into school for maybe 2 hours a day to do the exam, go back home, and then I'll be okay. And then when the school year ends, then everything will be over and I won't have to deal with this anymore, right? On one of the last exams of the year, right? And I was planning to, like, I literally woke up. I didn't even eat breakfast. I woke up. I was like, okay, I'm going to go into school for 2 hours today. And then I'm going to go home and everything's going to be fine. I go into school about 9 o'clock, maybe 8 o'clock, well, in the morning, and I'm planning to go back around 12, right? And at about 12, maybe 11 o'clock in the morning, still in the morning, I'm like, okay, I've done the exam. It's time to go home. And I'm like, oh, finally, it's going to be an amazing day today, not having to go to school for the entire 6 hours. And before I leave, before I get out that door, that same higher up administrative teacher comes up to me before I leave the door and he says, "You can't go yet. We've got a meeting in the conference room with your mum." So I had to stay there. I was now stuck. I was now stuck in school, unable to leave. And I had to wait for, I had to watch. I had to stand there and watch everyone else be able to go home and me have to stay in that bloody dreary corridor waiting for that conference, right? And when everyone was gone, he said, okay, come with me, right? And we walk over to like an area of the school that like no student ever goes in. Like it's almost only the teachers that go there and like the higher up teachers, right? And it's serious when it's in the conference room. I know. And so I walk into the conference room And I see my mum, I see the high, like a load of higher up, maybe two or three higher up teachers, and I also see one of the people from the IT department, right? And I was like, oh, it's over. And I sit down, right? And then I look at the door opens, and the computer science teacher walks in. He walks in and sits down as well. So I've got about 4 or 5 higher ups, computer science teacher, IT department man sat on the other end of this bloody conference table. And I'm sat here, right? Someone thought I was hacking. When I got detention for using inspect element to hack, dude, yeah, no, they were so like, I mean, the teachers are all stupid, right? I mean, they're all stupid with tech, right? I mean, I don't blame them, but they are. And the computer science teacher, I know, and I sit down, and they seat me down, and they start talking about Netcode, and they start saying, look, you keep bypassing. They were talking about like bypassing the safeguards and saying like, oh, it's dangerous for children, right, to be able to like bypass the safeguarding, right? And that's what they were trying to use. And then I remember this forever because this was the largest pile of bullshit that I have ever heard in my entire life. The computer science teacher, he starts talking to me and he says, you know, Wilson, we could take you to court for this because you're creating and distributing malware. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Dude, I had to try the hardest I've ever tried in my life not to yell. You were saying you're creating malware, and Netcode is a malware because it edits what he said, and this is literally just like this is computer science slop. He said because it edits data, quote, it edits data coming from the Chrome extension. What does that even mean? What does that? I'm literally a developer. What does that even mean? What do you mean edits data from the Chrome extension? Like, how is that? Like the safeguarding system can't flag a game. Just do better. Yeah, exactly. Just do better. But it doesn't matter. You can't take me to court for it either. You definitely can't. Doesn't matter. So you say it was malware, right? And look, it was so stupid. So stupid. I hate it so much. But dude, and the funny thing is as well is because my mum's ESL, my mum's English second language, so she had to record it. She recorded the entire meeting, and then I remember listening when we got home. She started listening to it on really high volume down in the living room. I heard it from upstairs. It's so awkward. It's so embarrassing. I mean, even though that like what they said was stupid, it's so embarrassing. But still, it doesn't matter. A reminder, current computer science teachers were taught Excel and Word, not Python and Java. Truth nuke. Truth nuke. Yeah, so and that was basically it. Like obviously they, said a bunch of, I mean, they yapped on and on and on about more or less the same thing for like, 25 minutes, right? But finally I was able to leave. And after that, I went in for the exams, went home, and that was the end of the year. And I was out of high school at that point, and I felt, it's finally over, right? And oh, by the way, if you want to know what happened to my laptop, well, nothing for the next 9 months. I literally whether this was out of me being lazy, me protesting, or me trying to be or me trying to protest lazily as a sign of my own aura, I will never know. I never went in to collect my laptop. They said I could collect it after the year ended. I never went in to do it because I couldn't be bothered, and I didn't want to, like, I wanted it to be their problem because legally they have to give it to me, but I didn't want to come in and collect it because I knew it would have to be their problem. So I never collected it for 9 months. For the next 9 months, I never went in to collect the laptop, and they had to give it to me after 9 months because my sister went to the same school, so they had to give it to her after 9 months, and then she gave it to me. I could never be bothered to get it back because it was like a school issued. Well, I say school issued. My family bought it, but it was a school laptop. I didn't care, so I never got it for the next 9 months. But that was the end of Netcade, if you will. And obviously at that point I had to take down the website because they said I had to, right? Otherwise I would get into trouble, right? Which, you know, it will always amuse me that that was the only thing they could do. They could never do it through actually improving the content filter. They just they had to, like, it is literally like the school equivalent of when you have to get rid of something through legislation because you can't just culturally discourage people from doing a bad thing. So they could never actually fix it within the code, even though they were apparently IT professionals. So whether or not you want to say that, like, whether or not you think that I won in the end, even though the website was taken down, is up to you. It's completely up to you. Just give everyone the Netcode source code and tell them how to do it because you're not hosting it. Yeah, I mean, look, well, I privated it at the end of the year. I privated the source code because they told me to take it all down, and I was worried that I would get in trouble if it was still up. But there is a fork. I'm not going to be able to find it anymore, unfortunately. But there was a fork, and I know it's still up. But I don't remember the link. And it's just another reason why it's stupid, right? There is a fork that you can still use to this day. But again, I don't remember the link, but I know it's out there somewhere. But I had to take it down. I mean, obviously now, like, I wouldn't be so annoyed at bringing this back up because it's not in the context of bypassing the school thing anymore, right? It's not in that context. I could do it, but I chose not to because it's I want to use the word controversial, but I don't know how much impact that actually holds anymore. By the way, why Netcade? It was a mixture of network and arcade. Arcade, obviously, for the games, and network because, I don't know, it sounded cool and, web development-y. And that's kind of what I thought would be all when I was, learning web development because I was, LARPing as an actual web developer when I was just starting out. There's like 6 forks. Really? Oh, wow. I didn't know. Wait, how did you even find that, though? How did you even find the 6 forks? Wow, I'm very impressed if you actually found 6 forks. I just kind of want to hear what you have to say about Tuchel after that disappointment the other day. Yeah, we talked about the World Cup at the beginning of the stream. Yeah, I mean, I don't really care. I mean, look, absolutely ridiculous from Tuchel. I mean, I will say this again. I don't know much about football. I don't know much about analysing a football game or managing a football game. Look, I don't know about tactics. But I was very surprised. I was very, very surprised when he took Gordon off and put Konza on. I think that was a ridiculous decision. But I thought, maybe he knows better because he's an actual manager and I'm not, right? But I guess not. I thought that was when my suspicion began when he took Gordon off. I thought that was absolutely ridiculous. Like, you've just gone 1-0 up. Why are you putting another defender on? Like, you have to keep attacking. You have to go for another goal. You can't just defend against Argentina. It doesn't work. Not with 40 minutes. It's a very obvious decision that he didn't make. Why? I don't know. Will he be sacked? I also don't know. I also don't really care, to be honest. But if he does get sacked, then I think it would be a problem with us to find another coach. But the FA won't sack him. I don't know. I don't really care, to be honest. I mean, I care during the World Cup just because there's a sort of, residual hype from the World Cup happening. But I don't care about club football whatsoever. Now that the World Cup is going to be ending soon, right? I won't care past when it's all over. I'm assuming the football chats video won't be ready for the finals. No, probably not. I mean, I don't really. I don't know. I don't have the motivation. They'll be ready once England wins a World Cup. Yeah, I don't know. I think as a fan of Argentina, it was the Magnus effect. Something like Argentina effect, getting scared of Argentina, especially Messi. I don't know. I'm not saying England is bad. England were bad. They were bad during the Argentina. They were very good until the goal. The minute the goal came in, the tactics were, I mean, embarrassing. Frankly. But anyway, fellas, that was the story of Netcade. What do we think? that was one of my first ever website projects, and it completely spiraled out of control instantly. And that was kind of it. And I got my laptop back after 9 months or so, and I still have it now. I've got it downstairs. It's I put Linux Mint on it rather than Chrome OS, and I use it for electronics projects, just because it's like really small and light. So so I still have it. I still have it to this day, but it has a long history that I don't often think about, I suppose. That when I use it. But it was. But I thank you for listening to that story, because now I can post it to my second channel without having to actually record a script. So that's very helpful. I thank you guys. That was a good story. Thank you. Why not Arch? I don't care. Why don't you relax? Yeah. Damn, bro. I don't even know I don't know what my next project would have been. I honestly have no idea. But listen, did I win in the end? That's potentially up for debate. But yeah, it was a fantastic, I suppose, period of my own life. Dude, at some point, like I remember near the end of the last year, because I was never one of the popular kids, but for like maybe 2 weeks, like the last 2 weeks of school, I was never a popular kid throughout the entirety of high school ever. I mean, you there's a certain sacrifice you have to make to be a programmer, right? To be interested in programming, but for that last 2 weeks, I was a lot more popular in the last 2 weeks. Like I remember being in classes or in between classes, and people coming up to me just to ask me if I was the Netcade guy. Like, hey, Wilson, are you the guy that made that website? I remember that. I felt was the peak of my career at that point. I felt that it was. Like, just, I mean, all sorts of people come up to me and ask me if I was the Netcade guy. I mean, bloody hell, the guys and the girls. So, listen, I'm just cool like that, just is what it is, fellas. Yeah, I apologize. Like I was right, Wintercat just turns people down immediately and completely. Yeah, listen, I don't care, man. It's just I have no tolerance for things that I don't care about. I have no tolerance, so I don't know how to put it. You honestly should have found someone else willing to catch some trouble to do it all again in a lower year. Dude, that's actually genius. Yeah, maybe I should have done that. You're right. But I don't know. Because I felt like I'd still be attached to it, right? They'd still know I was attached to it, and I might get in trouble again. But I think I was too, like, worried at the time. And also at the time, Gudra, to be fair, like, with the last week of school, I was like, I just get through it and then leave. And then after I leave, I don't have to care about anyone else in the school anyway, right? What I would do is a complete joke. Would give the admins a Netcade shirt with the logo so they can remember. True. 0 in a million chess players become cool in school. Meanwhile, Wintercat for 2 whole weeks. Yes! No, mate, it was amazing. It was amazing. Ah. I mean, it is like I was probably 15 or 16, and it is the most like the cringiest thing possible to like to be a kid and be super happy and like excited that like a girl comes up to you just to like glaze you and be like, "Are you the netcade guy?" You don't realize, fellas. I mean, it was extremely cringy to find any sort of like excitement and that, but like that was a fantastic moment at my career, especially as a as someone in high school. You have to admit. Have you even cared about chess at the time? No, I've played chess, like I've known the rules my whole life. Um, well, since I was 7 or something, right? But I didn't start playing properly until 2022 in August. So that would have been literally during the summer after the Netcade stuff happened. And so, it went from Netcade story to chess, and I got well into chess. And then, where the story goes from there, fellas. I mean, that's where it all comes from. So literally, like the whole Wintercat thing and the Winter Chess and the YouTube, none of that would have existed if it hadn't been for the Netcade situation. Netcade situation is literally like Wintercat prequel. That's what I'm telling you today for story time. Computer science major talks with the people of the female gender. That was big. That was a big headline back in the day, at least for me, bro. AI news, don't believe that. True. Yeah, I started playing in 2022. Although to be fair, I did play in person. Um, I did play in person during high school in the last year, with one of my friends. But he was ever so slightly better than me. Like he must have been 400 elo, and I was like 300, right? Or maybe it was a bit higher than that. He was maybe like 500, and I was 400, something like that, right? Which is completely speculative, by the way. I don't know actually how strong he was, but he was slightly better than me. And he would always beat me. He would always beat me. And that was also one of the reasons that I started playing online chess, because I said I want to get better, so I could beat him. So that, as well as just, I don't know, getting into chess for whatever reason, was kind of the reason that I got into it. And nowadays, I'm 2100, and I think he's still 500. So, listen, not saying anything out of spite, fellas, but listen, I kind of locked in. Maybe I got slightly carried away with that. I want to be better than anything. Watch Summer Dog be the only person to back up the headline. True. Well, it helps though, because I've already got the script written now, because I've just done it on the stream. Which is, was it Eleanor 2100? So, yeah, I locked in for a while. Remember when I played with a friend, he would beat me, and then I locked in and beat him constantly, and he refused to play anymore. We're best friends now, ended up first and third at school turning. Totally nice, man. That's awesome. It's a wholesome ending. Yeah, so I got into chess basically right after the Netcade thing, and it spiraled out of control from there. And I don't even know what I would have done in 2022, to be honest. I'm not sure what my projects would have been. Maybe it could have just been nothing. It probably was just nothing. I probably just didn't like finish anything in that time, because I think I did type game. I remember doing serve game, but that's really late on though. Maybe I didn't do anything until February 2023. I did type game, which is a very small website where you just try to press the F key like as fast as you can, and then it gives you like a taps per second, and there's like a leaderboard. So I was trying to learn how to do like a back end to store the leaderboard. Serve game, I remember that. Yeah, but then like I did a few random things like type game, serve game, smaller things. Then I did the spellcast solver. That was in late 2023, and that's when I started my YouTube, because I thought, why not? It'd be a fun thing. And then after the spellcast solver, that got like 1,000 views, and then I did Game Report. I did Winter Chess, and that's kind of where everything started for Wintercat. was a chessboard in my high school's library. It always fascinated me, but I never really played on it. Every time I did, I lost swiftly. Beautiful. My friends used to be like 600. I joined them only knowing the rules. With a new account, when I've got 100 elo a year, I stopped playing actively rating. Fair enough. What is chess craziness? Wait, I don't even see that. Chess craziness is somewhere. Where even is it? Here we are. Chess Craziness is a very small library that gives you a point value, like an amount of points for a game based on how crazy it is. So how many sacrifices, how many promotions, things like that. And then I used that and then ordered all games within a games database to find the craziest game in chess, which you can watch on my YouTube channel. What is the most brilliant game in chess? So yeah, so that was one of my videos, but that was of course much later on than Netcade. But yeah, I've also got this rock miner. This might actually have predated Netcade, so I apologize if I but it was one of my first projects, but I think that rock miner might have actually predated Netcade. It was one of my first ever HTML projects, and it's literally just like cookie clicker, right? So it's a crappy cookie clicker game, but the code for this is absolutely rubbish. But you know, it's actually quite nice to see rubbish code here because it means I've gotten better, or well, you know, that's up to debate maybe, but yeah, I did this, all the else ifs. Yep. You know it, fellas. You know it. It had to be spam else if. It had to. Oh my god, there's even more. Yep. Document.get element by ID. Yeah. Dude, funnily enough though, like I had some customers on this too. I had a few of my friends and like some random people. Like there was a very tiny community of people who actually played Rock Miner in class. Like people would actually play it and ask me for updates. I found that so awesome. Like it was nowhere near as big as Netcade. But some people actually played Rock Miner in class just because it was a sort of turn your brain off kind of game. So that was one of the first things. I can pull it up. I can maybe pull up Rock Miner. Let me see. If I make a new project folder, then I can pull up Rock Miner for you. Wonder if I have it. No. I have to reclone these from GitHub as if I have, you know, used these before. Rock Miner not found. Here we are. There we are. And here we are. Mate. Alright, hold on. Let me pull up the chat again. Dyson Rock kind of expensive. True. Okay, it is kind of expensive, but fellas, you click the thing, you get achievements as well, dude. And the little animation. Hold on, let me jitter click. That doesn't even work. Fellas, so if I buy a miner, right, then I... Okay, that sounds really bad, but if I buy one of the miners, then I can get... it will automatically start giving me money. So that was... I had to code that in as well, which is really unimpressive, like, objectively speaking, but it was one of my first ever websites, and it's a little thing here that gives you some information on it, and I can buy a pickaxe. By the way, it's completely like I'm pretty sure I remember it's completely useless to buy like the actual like automatic mining devices. Like it's much better to just buy a pickaxe and then get loads more per click, and then just save up to a drill. And then once you get the drill, yeah, kind of how miners worked in the past. Well, yeah, listen, if it was a real cookie clicker clone, you'd be able to kill God by hour 500. True. True. Alright, hold on. Now, by the way you win the game is by getting infinity money. And the only way you can get infinity money is because at some point, obviously, JavaScript has an integer limit. So I didn't actually code that in, but it just happened to be a... Isn't it I wouldn't pick? Like, I've even got the Minecraft achievement. I had to make these achievement things, by the way. I had to make those little icons. And now I just get the explosive drill. Now, I believe the drill is coded such that if you keep clicking, it will build up like more clicks per second. But if you let go, then it resets. Or just release it? What do you mean? What, just release this to like the public? Just put it back on it. It probably exists, right? I would expect it to still exist on GitHub pages or something, right? Let me see. Yeah, it does. Fellas. Well, I mean, probably one of, if not my first ever website for anyone that's interested in that. Crazy, isn't it? I mean, this would have been when I was 15. So, you know, here's what it is. It's still there. It is still there. The Netcade one's not still there because my second ever website project, if you will, I had to take down because of all the allegations, the controversies. But yeah, my original one was still up. I never had to take it down, so it's just sat there on GitHub pages. It's pretty it's beautiful, isn't it? Yeah, it's valid. It is what it is. Like, should I get the autoclicker out? Yeah, I don't even care. You can use your autoclicker if you. I mean, it's so easy to hack into it, obviously, right? But fellas, that is the ultimate story of Netgate. It was in fact, I guess the kids won in the end. I don't know what they're doing at the school now. I have a friend that like, because I don't even live in that area of the country anymore, but I have a friend who does, and he goes by like, because he has a sibling that goes there, so he goes by every, very rarely to the school. And I think he's actually talked to that IT department again, like many years on from when it all happened. And don't know if he brings up Netcade, but maybe he does. Look, we don't know. I can't buy the drill after buying the explosive one. Well, because it's the explosive one is better than the drill, so you won't need the smaller one. I think. I don't know. I mean, listen, man. If there's bugs in it, then what can I do? It's not necessarily the most modern code bases of all time. So what can you do? But that was the story, fellas, of one of my first ever projects that I got into a lot of trouble for, is my overall point. I got into a lot of trouble for doing this. But, I mean, I will always stand behind, again, I will always stand behind just building your own projects is the best way to learn how to code. It is. It is the best way to learn, because you get experiences like these. I mean, obviously, maybe I got slightly lucky with with the Netgate story, but like, the experience you get from actually building something, especially building something that you intend another person to use, that is the best way to learn. It just is. There is no course, there is no YouTube tutorial that will ever be better than just building something and, talking to other people about it, getting feedback and suggestions, and then, adding things to it, and, having people use it. There will never be something better than that when it comes to learning. One of these days I'll find something to work on. It's an incredibly rewarding thing, Kirby, I promise you. I promise. Because otherwise I wouldn't... I mean, obviously you have to have a level of obsession to be able to work on this for a week straight, right? But I promise you it's very rewarding. And that's the Winter Cat story. As is, anyway, right? That's how I ended up making all of this crap as well. So listen, you know what it is. Already at 1,000,000,000. Yeah, it's a pretty easy game if you just buy like the tools and then the upgrades. Obsession beats talent, exactly. And I always subscribe to the idea that you need to be obsessed with something to be great. You do. Just very simple. You have to be very obsessed with it. Like to the to the point that you're doing it at, like, if you have to be willing, you better be willing to suffer for it. Like, if you have never written a line of code at 3 o'clock in the morning, you're not obsessed enough. I promise you. Like, it's a very blunt way to put it, but it's true. And I'm very curious how many of you in the chat have done that. I promise you, there's a level of obsession that you need that requires having written a line of code at 3 in the morning. It's very simple. I'll save it though, really good for something. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. It's just a piece of code, isn't it? Hey, listen, man. I miss when bad code was human written. Like, I miss when bad code was amateur human written. Because nowadays, that rock miner would simply be like, you'd think, oh, it's just a crappy AI that's written there. But the idea of bad code used to look like that before the AI thing. So it's I miss that, really. But laughed at by my classmates for coding at home and building a too complicated website. Well, they can piss off, can't they? Only bloody idiots will say that, mate. I'll tell you. That's how you make bugs faster. Yeah, listen, well, I mean, I might as well plug this. I might as well plug this. Come on, fellas, what we talking about? Oh, hold on, let me pull it up on. But hold on. Do I not even have, like? Let me pull up Summer Dog. I might as well plug this. I tell you what in the world is wrong with YouTube. Here we are. I might as well plug this. I've talked about this in a 17-minute video, coding for hours. I'll plug this to everyone again, because I always do, just because it's, I don't know, I quite enjoy making them. 2 talks here about the UK social media ban and dealing with AI, and just my full opinion on AI. I know we talk about it very often, so if you're interested in my full opinion on AI, then you can watch the video, because otherwise I have to explain it in every stream, which I don't want to. It's fatiguing, as I have outlined in the title of this video. It's fatiguing to talk about AI all the time and vibe coding and all this slop. I mean, it sucks, but you know, what can you do? This is the evolution of the internet. Where did you make the thumbnails? I took pictures in the game, so I loaded up a. Well, this is like the latest version of the game, because I needed replay mod to like take the, fly around and take the screenshot, right? But I had a bunch of mods and texture packs to make it look like beta, like the beta version. And then I just took a few screenshots. I wonder if I can actually find them, because I might be able to show you, actually. That's quite funny. Can I do that though? Hold on, sorry guys, one sec. Yeah, okay. Here, I've got like some pictures here that I just randomly took, of different angles and stuff, and then I've got the background footage, which I took from an actual 1.5.2 world. I have a 1.5.2 world that I play with one of my friends. So I just, recorded that while we were playing, and then I put that in the background. At least, like, for this thumbnail, that's how I got it, because I built this little statue of the guy with the England flag, which I then later realised was a perfect thumbnail for the UK social media ban video. Yeah, but that text is nicely hidden under the grass, and I don't see any Photoshop or Affinity, and doubt you can make that in Paint. What do you mean? No, I use yeah, I edit the photo, right? I put the text behind the grass, like in Photo P, which is like, well, basically Photoshop, right? yeah, it's basically Photoshop, but it's online. Yeah, I know, I edit them. Like, I take the screenshot, but then I add... Okay, so basically what I do, I turn the saturation slightly down so it kind of looks like melancholic. I then add a bunch of noise. You might be able to see it looks a bit grainy. On all of them, they look a bit grainy. So I add a bit of noise, and then I add the big text behind it. And I edit it so it's beneath the grass. So I do edit them. But the original screenshots are taken from the game. Funny short story, I think the reason I'm so scared of downloading stuff on the internet is because back in the day I downloaded Minecraft mods that gave my old PC and iOS. You got PTSD, man. This man is what it is. But thank you guys for listening to that story, because it makes it really easy now. I can just sort of splice up the VOD and then turn it into a third video, because I was going to do a video about that story anyway. But you know, so now I can do that. I don't know what else happened in the stream. You know, I want to do that because on the stream it's very easy to just talk about it, and then it's very easy to splice it up and then, you know, put it onto the second channel. Because otherwise I have to plan out a script and that takes too long. If I just do it in the moment, then it, and you know, I can put in the video so me responding to some things in the chat, right? Which is also, it adds to, like, it makes it a little bit more interesting. We want to be in the subtitles, yeah. Because I can put the chat somewhere on the video, right? And then I can respond to the chat, like, as part of the video, so that it makes it more interesting to watch, I guess, a little bit, like, because it's like you're having a conversation, I suppose. But it's a lot easier than doing this, because I actually have to edit these. Well, I mean, okay, it's not that much editing, right? But like, okay, I have to write down the script, which is annoying. So it'll be a lot better if I just do it from the stream. So I'm very happy about that. But I want to upload more often on Summer Dog, though. This is like 2 weeks ago now. Like, bloody hell. I was kind of hoping to upload every few days or something on Summer Dog, because it doesn't take long. But I've been very consumed by writing the script for this next video, and I haven't for the Rare Anomalies one. But I haven't even gotten that far. In it. I don't know why. It's just been different. You know, it's like creative block, if you want to call it that. Gonna be an official Summer Dog video. Well, listen, I feel like we're past the Netcage story at this point, fellas. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like we're slightly past the story, but I appreciate the enthusiasm. I do. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it was a good day to talk about that story. Maybe I have more stories. I'm probably going to end the stream soon because it's been 3 hours now. I don't want to do a 4 or 5 hour stream. But I'm happy I got the story out. Maybe I can come up with another story to tell you guys in the next time, because I feel like the story time is pretty good. So you don't even have the script written for that section that I will get? I do have the script written for your section, but I haven't recorded it. Because I always convince myself every day that, look, if I just log in, I can write a crap ton of the script today, and then I can give it to you tomorrow. But I haven't done that because I don't actually get a lot of it done every day, which is really annoying. I'm really annoyed at myself. But might as well share this before we go, but I might not be here next stream. That's fine, man. That's no issue at all. Yeah, please next time campfire and the wood cracking sounds. Should I actually do that? We used to have, well, CNY. I don't know if you probably, because these are like old stream things at this point. You probably weren't here long ago enough to know this, but like we used to put the deep ambient. I think Kirby, you'll know what I mean. We used to put the deep ambient music on. Deep ambient music. There was a random, like, probably it's probably either AI generated or just re-uploaded the same songs. But we used to watch this random channel called She's Gone. We put it up here. Mate. Now that's how you know that the stream just got serious. Great stream. Thank you, Baccarat. Hello, by the way. How you doing, man? It's good to see you. Again, I don't know you, but it's good to see you, man. What are we doing this week? I was there once or twice. I do recall Deep Ambient. Yeah, we played it. Peak. It is peak. We used to do this, and we used to just talk about life, didn't we? I remember we were all chilling. I remember Frog Lover was in the stream at some point. I swear he said, like, I remember him saying that he was like reclined on his seat just listening to the stream. You don't understand how big of an achievement that is, by the way, for the streamer. You know, you actually feel like there's people engaged in your work. Again, it's a fantastic feeling when people care about what you do. I remember that was a fantastic. Yeah, we used to do this. We used to just play this and talk about life and like locking in, which maybe I need that talk because I haven't been locking in on the bloody YouTube script enough recently, and I feel like I'm wasting like far too much time out of my summer, and I'm like starting to get annoyed. This was when I'd spill my life story to the live chat. I know. Well, plenty of people used to do that. Like, it wasn't just you, Kirby, right? Like, we all used to do that. I have no idea when I saw you first, but I used the website for a long time before getting to the Discord server and the whole community, and now I even have a nickname. You have a nickname of CMY? Is that not just your actual name, or like? Nice, man. It's nice to see you guys came from the website, though. I really do want to improve the website. I promise I do. I just haven't had the time. I say I haven't had the time. I think the reality is that I haven't been locked in enough. But I really do want to improve the website. I know I yap about this every stream. I found about you from I Want Checkmate. Amazing. Well, I'm very happy to leech off of his audience. Always happy to do that. No, it's... Yeah, but how am I meant to say that? CNYNDZA. What do you want me to say? Like, Seninza? Like, I get it, but, like, I wouldn't know how to say it otherwise. We all know you only want to improve the website to get the thanks counter to 100. True. Extremely true. Yeah, no, I do really want to improve it though on a serious note, because I know I yap about this literally every stream, about, you know, how I want people to have more chess tools more accessibly, but I do want it to be a lot better, because I know a lot of people, like on a sort of more fundamental or like a deeper level or more profound level. I don't want to like, I don't want to sound like, you know, bloody Gary the Snail in the library when he's like, you know, super professional or anything. I'm gonna put that image up for no reason, by the way. But I don't want to sound like, you know, super nerd or super cringe or anything. But on a deeper level, it is like, I know a lot of people use Winter Chess like because they can't afford chess.com premium, but they want, you know, chess is a thing that they really want to get better at for whatever reason, right? But a lot of people that use Winter Chess are obviously in like the lower income countries, like in the middle of nowhere. Like they'll be in like, you know, India, Vietnam, Philippines, or like, you know, Bangladesh, or what's the other ones? I suppose Brazil is not really that low income necessarily, but you know what I mean, like those types of countries that very largely are using Winter Chess. And so that's my big goal, right? Like I want people even in those countries, like I want there to be less inequality in what chess training resources people have, because it's annoying. Like, of course, maybe the problem for me that motivated me to start working at Winter Chess was slightly different. I just didn't want to pay £15. I'm not necessarily in a low income country, but I didn't want to pay for it. And then I was like, well, I wanted to learn openings as well, but it's like you could buy a course for like $60, or there's some websites that sell them for like $400, $500, right? And it's like, I don't want that inequality, because that means that to pay for those courses to get better at the game, you need to be like a rather established player already to have that kind of disposable money to spend on a course, right? So like that's obviously ridiculous. I don't want that. I want there to be an equality such that even the grandmasters or the established players with a lot of money can be using the same tools as some random high schooler in Indonesia, right? That's what I want. And of course, look, it pains me almost that there has to be things in the subscription that, you know, people can't use unless they pay for it. But obviously, can't avoid that, right? But what I want is the equality. That's what I want. I want, regardless if you're some random high schooler in Indonesia, you should be able to use the same stuff. You should be able to learn with the same stuff, because chess is a global game. It's very simple. But Leashas came out with Game Review. Aren't you scared of the growth stopping? Well, not necessarily, because my goal, obviously, ultimately, is to not just have Game Review on Winter Chess. But I mean, the thing is that people don't understand about Game Review, and especially game reviews that aren't on chess.com, because now, of course, there is a whole community of game reviews outside of chess.com, and I think, I'm not trying to flex this, but I think I was the one who initially catalyzed this with the video that blew up, right? It's very easy now to find game reviews that aren't on chess.com, and so it is generally like an open thing now. It's an accessible thing, and I think I was the one that created this culture, which I'm very happy about. But the thing about game review is that because I initially started it as a way to just use a chess.com thing for free, I think a lot of people who make these, the sort of consensus is that the quality of another game review or game review site or whatever is entirely on the basis of how close it is to chess.com. That is the consensus at the moment. Like, if you build a new game review, one of the main criticisms of Winter Chess is the fact that it isn't exactly like chess.com. And they'll say like, oh, I got a brilliant on chess.com, but I didn't on Winter Chess. Or it's like, oh, it's a mistake here, but an inaccuracy on Winter Chess. Shut the fuck. What are you talking? Shut up. Shut the hell up. What are you talking about? Right? And I hate that is the consensus, because it instantly kills all innovation. Because now, like, people don't understand that, like, it is possible to go ahead and actually just build something better than chess.com if you wanted to. I hate that the consensus is limited by chess.com. Like, and see, this is the thing, right? If I was to create an entirely new analysis thing from the ground up for Winter Chess today, I would not be thinking about, I would not be looking at features that chess.com has and thinking, okay, can I implement this to Winter Chess? That's the wrong way to go about it. You have to start from the beginning and be like, the question is not, can I build chess.com game review? The question is, can I build a useful post-analysis tool? It's a much more general question, and people don't understand that, right? And this is why, as well, I'm going to make a statement, and some of you are not going to like this. Some of you are going to think I'm an absolute idiot in saying this, but it's true. Here's the statement. The stronger the engine is that analyzes your game in game review, the worse the analysis is. The analysis is worse if you have a stronger engine. And the reason for that is the following. If you play a chess game, right, and we can make this slightly easier by pushing this theorem to the extremes. If we say that we have an engine that is perfect in play, like it, absolute idiot. If we solve, let's say chess is solved let's say chess is solved and you've got a perfect playing engine. You're going to realize what I mean in a minute, Gudra. If you have a perfect chess engine, what's going to happen is if you do game review right now, right, at the starting position, I'm going to pull this up. Let's say you start a game and it's the starting position. If you have a perfect stockfish, right, the evaluation is going to be, you know, mate in 60 for white. If white wins from the starting position, we don't know that. It could be a draw. So it would either be 0 or mate in 60 for white or something, right? So I know you're taking the bet, don't worry. I'm playing into it. If we now play the move d4, if we now play d4, with perfect play, you could say that d4 is a draw for white. So let's say the starting position is mate in 60 if you play e4, but it's a draw if you play d4. So the engine is perfect, but the problem is the game review says that d4 is a blunder. The d4 says that the game review says that d4 is a blunder because it goes from mate in 60 to a draw. So the thing is, when you have a perfect engine, evaluation does not exist. There is no evaluation. You have 3 states of evaluation: win, draw, and loss. Right? The starting position you can theoretically say is a win for white. d4 is a draw. Going from win to draw is a blunder. There is nothing in between, because it can either be a win or draw or a loss. So d4 is a blunder, which is completely useless to any player. Any player or any master who tells their student that d4 is a blunder is out of their mind, because it's completely useless. The reason it's useless is because this is not the case in practice. In practice, it is not instantaneously a draw when you play d4, in the same way that it's not instantaneously a win if you play e4, right? So it's completely useless because there's such a disparity between the skill level of the student and the teacher, right? Given that the teacher is a perfect play engine. That's why. So the stronger that the engine is, the less meaning that exists in its evaluations. So this is the thing. What you need, the optimal thing, right, is to have like an engine that's maybe slightly better than Magnus Carlsen, because it needs to beat Magnus Carlsen in case Magnus Carlsen is the student, right? But it only needs to be maybe 100, 200 points better. The minute that you start getting to, because Stockfish is, you know, 3800 something, right? I think that's too strong. That's actually slightly too strong for optimal learning from the game. It only needs to be slightly better than Magnus Carlsen, because then there is the maximum amount of meaning in each evaluation that it gives you. Does that make sense, fellas? Because then it will give you more practical results, right? It will say d4 is a good move. The perfect engine might say that d4 is a blunder because it blunders a draw when you had a forced win. So, and to be fair, it's not so bad with Stockfish. It's not the end of the world, right? It will still say d4 is a good move, and correctly so. But the thing is, this is the problem. There are many Stockfish moves that we literally just don't understand, right? We don't understand Stockfish moves all of the time, right? And that doesn't help. That you can look at it in awe, and that's fine, but it doesn't help if you actually want to use that as a means to get better at the game, because it's impossible to understand. You need a chess engine that can at least make moves within the realm of human understanding. Like, do you understand what I mean? Because you need that so that that meaning can actually be passed on to the human. Otherwise you can't do it, because the evaluations become too meaningless. The stronger the engine, the more meaningless the evaluation, and thus the better the engine, the worse the game review. Think because engines at Magnus level still find crazy moves which humans wouldn't find. Yes, but with human analysis over a certain period of time, you could at least understand it, right? You can understand what Magnus plays because Magnus is able to, explain it to you because it is, it's human. He thought of it in a human way, right? So maybe you want to argue then that, okay, you should have an engine that's at Magnus level rather than above it. But I think that even 100, 200 points above Magnus is fine. I think eventually people will be able to explain it, right? If you analyze it for long enough, right? Obviously that becomes, way too far gone with 3800, but maybe with 3000 you can still do it. So that's my point. You actually made a really good point. I know. That's what I'm trying to say. Thank you there. Thank you. Magnus can play a move that commentators are wowed about. Well, yeah, but Magnus understands it, right? I'm just trying to say within the realm of human understanding, right? And look, actually, to be completely fair, it might even be better if you're like 300 elo, right? It depends what's in the realm of understanding of the student. Actually, I think I'll update my point to that. It has to be within the realm of understanding of the student, which technically means if you're 300 elo, maybe, a 3000, slightly better than Magnus engine is too much. Maybe having a 2000 rated engine is actually optimal for a 300 elo player. Because maybe that 2000 elo rated thing won't always give you the best move, but it will certainly win the game against any 300, right? So maybe that being used as the engine is more optimal for 300, because you want something that is, will beat any 300, but is still in the realm of understanding for 300. So maybe actually a 2000 rated engine is better for that one. We'll see. We need my chess reviewing. True. Yeah, you do. That's actually a fantastic idea. I mean, that's kind of like, the implementation side of what I'm getting at. Coding for hours. That is really it. With elo inflation, what is 200 or so points above Magnus? It doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. You can just test it on people. When you have thousands of customers, you can automatically converge on something, Gudra. You can just test it on the customer base. It's very easy. You can analyze move by playing other moves and see why they're worse. Sure. Because I think Magnus can draw Stockfish. Magnus cannot draw Stockfish. Magnus in 2014 versus today's Stockfish, I do think it could be a draw. But is the engine now 2882 or is Magnus 3500? Magnus cannot draw Stockfish. It's not even true. CNY, he can't. It's not possible. It's too good. And even if he did, it doesn't make him or the engine any particular rating. It doesn't. I mean, you've had, fantastic flute draws against people, a couple hundred higher rated than you, but it doesn't provide the same conjecture, right? So Magnus can draw Starfish. No, he can't. He has a year to play. I still don't think so. But I mean, I don't know. Magnus can draw Starfish in classical. He just can't. He literally just can't. He wouldn't. It's just impossible. I can't be asked for this. This is not an argument. No, he cannot draw Stockfish even in classical. What are we talking about? Fellas. About Drawfish, maybe. Maybe, fellas, maybe. It is what it is. Yeah, and anyway, that's the controversial point that I wanted to make. I think there was a reason why I was going to say that, but anyway, okay, so it was because of if we're looking to not to copy chess.com, we're looking to make a good analysis product, right? which means you have to do things like using a weaker engine, right, which people are going to be very annoyed at, but it actually improves the analysis. And if it improves the analysis, then no one cares. No one cares about it being better than, or no one cares about it being closer to chess.com, right? Doesn't matter. So that's the thing I want to do with Winter Chess. I want to drop this idea completely of making game review and just make a good analysis tool. That's it. You need to think in that mindset if you want a better analysis tool. You cannot think in the frame of chess.com game review. You can't. It doesn't work. So look, obviously there are some overlapping ideas, right? Like having an icon in each move. Honestly, having an icon in each move probably isn't even that useful. It probably doesn't even contribute that much to good analysis, because it's not like you would still take a human coach over game review any day of the week who doesn't put, ascribe icons to your moves. So actually it doesn't even matter, right? It's like things like that are purely marketing. There's no actual use. I mean, realistically, in the same way there's no use of brilliant move. No use at all. It's just people like it. It gets customers. It's literally it. People are at different levels though. Hikaru would prefer Stockfish over engines. True, which is why I said that it should be an engine that is a certain level stronger than the student, such that the engine could coach the student. Right? Like with a 200, 300 elo player, they might want a 2000 elo engine as the coach. Hikaru would probably want Stockfish as the coach, right? So it's a relative thing. It's not an absolute thing. Not everyone gets the same engine. So that's what I'm trying to say. I think that would be optimal, but look, I haven't looked into it, right? So I don't know. Also, Wilson, listen, how hard could it be to code that? Not that hard. I mean, you just the thing is, right? The website would need to know your elo, but I mean that's literally it. Look into how handcrafted engines evaluate positions. Then, when something major down the line that causes domain change. Okay. Okay. But me, I need explanations. Yeah, that's fine. But that's why, like, again, what I coded the coach thing, right? That's I'm leaning into that, Gudra. You're correct, but I'm saying like the engine, the rating of the engine is one thing. The explanations is another thing. You're right. It is a separate problem that needs to be. Oh, bro. Are we dead serious? Okay, we're chilling. I love your analysis engine. Thank you so much. You're welcome, man. I appreciate it. I'm glad that you find it useful. I'm gonna increment it by 2 because I think someone did earlier and I didn't put it on. But thank you, man. Thank you, Dare. I appreciate it. We're gonna set Stockfish level elo too, though. Yeah, well, that fantastic. But the Stockfish elo setting isn't very good. Nitro, it's not very good. Using Maya Chess would be. Well, at least up to the point where, because I think Maya Chess only has up to 2000 elo, but using Maya Chess wherever possible would be miles better than Stockfish elo setting. Still absolutely outraged. Nice. I think at this point it's actually meant to be 33, is it? I trust you, Kirby, if it is, but is it? Yeah. So that would be what I would do. I would have the coach so it could explain it, but the engine itself should be at the level of the coach that you would want at your elo range. At 300, you probably want a 2000 elo coach, or like you don't need a grandmaster at 300 elo. You just don't. It would actually be cheaper for you, right? to buy someone who's not a grandmaster, to buy someone to, you know, rent out someone who's not a grandmaster to coach you. Actually be much cheaper and better for your explanation, because they're more within the realm of, you know, your understanding. Well, at least if it's an engine as coaching you, right? And then the explanations can be provided by the coach thing. Very sorry, maybe I'm asking too deep into the convo. What is Maya chess? Maya chess is an engine. Like, it's an engine, right? But it is a neural network that is designed to play like a human, rather than just play the best moves. It plays the most human move at a particular elo level. So like there's Maya Chess 2000, which is a 2000 elo engine, and it plays like a human would in 2000 elo. So for example, it actually, one of the top Maya Chess moves could be a blunder, but it would be the most human looking move. So like a move that looks really good, but actually, like, well, you know, it looks like a fork, but it's actually a blunder. That might be considered the top move by Maya Chess, even though it is bad, because it looks more human for 2000. So it can be extreme. I really want to use it. It would be very good for the explanations, very good for analysis. I really want to use it because it's open source as well. I really want to use it. There's a lot of things that you can do with it, but I don't think Maya Chess has been used, I think, in the open source community as much as it should be. So it's really good. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 33. Okay. Thank you. It's on nature, yeah. It is indeed. Is it? Oh, but I wasn't even listening, sorry. Yeah, is it on HS? That's cool. Fellas, Gabby the Snail Library. He's back. Alright, fellas, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. Yeah, sorry, because I wasn't meant to drag on for so long, but yeah, I want Winter Chess to be good, so that, you know, people from all around can use it regardless of what situation they're in. You know, it's always what I want. But you know, it is how it is. And we got through the netcode thing today, which is something I'm very happy about. But I think I'm gonna leave now, fellas. I apologize because we've talked a lot today, and my voice is gonna give out if I keep going. So I'm gonna go now and then probably work on the script if I can tonight. Just don't let your old school find out. True. I might get in trouble. Yeah. Yeah, I'll be fine. Yeah, it'll be fine, fellas. Alright. Alright, take care, lads. I'll see you next time. Thank you for having a chat today. It's gonna be a big week. It's gonna be a big week next week. Isn't that right? Alright, take care, fellas.